Oh my God, why is it not letting me roll ads? I need to go plug this in, actually. I was really underprepared because I was in such a hurry to bring all of this very, shall we say, vibrant, eclectic energy to you, my sweet, sweet viewers. But first, oh my God, my computer's going really slow right now because it's dying. I was just trying to roll some ads because I have to. And I'm gonna plug my computer in and we'll be back at roll in just 3 minutes. Thanks so much. I'm awkward. I experimented with this very concept for a really long time. And right now I just feel like listening to my music. So like I broke my headphones. Like, listen, I own cheap stuff because I know I'm prone to breaking things, and that's why I'm kind of low key comfortable breaking my own things. Because it's just like stuff. And it's like, you know what, I could do way worse damage, so why not chuck the headphones instead of throw a punch? Right? Got a bone to pick. Yeah, I shouldn't even be listening to music right now. I'm a little all over the place. Yeah, well, it's not. There's look how not broken they are. One question. Bitch, where were you when I was walking? Now run the game, cut the whole game. I don't want to cut the legs off. I admittedly was rough with them, but only sound doesn't come out of one of them. So they still function pretty well. They held together. There was like one loose wire. and sound that comes out of one ear, which I think is actually probably a good thing because this was me today. I am wearing, granted, I was wearing makeup that I put on at like 11 a.m. yesterday. Well, 11 a.m. Sunday. I'm not really sure what day it is right now. And then I wiped it off at like, you know, 6 a.m. Monday with like a makeup thing. But other than that, I'm not wearing any makeup. And I didn't get ready at all. And okay, depending on what time zone you're in, right? Because like, yeah, I think it's kind of late at this point, where it's actually Tuesday at certain times. Um, anyways, I always intend to stream this night on this day. I had Dex sitting out waiting for me, but today was unpredictable because I didn't get the frog, and I kind of just woke up and set out to make today some kind of like conquestuous magical journey for absolutely no reason at all, other than I knew that I was streaming tonight. So how the fuck do you get ready for this? I mean, whatever. I just like go be unhinged in the world, absorb energy, talk to people, see how they're feeling, see how people are feeling about me. 100% receptive, everyone today, except for maybe like the people who know me best, right? That's always the goddamn joke at the end of it. So I think I did an insanely good job of making today as magical as it was. And I'm really happy about that. And I like, that's all I could really tell you as to why I was starting so fucking late is that I walked for miles. I've been thinking about how I kind of like get a little restless in the wintertime or just anytime I don't get in nature, you know? And oh my God, Kendrick is so good. I probably gotta kill the headphones. I was just feeling insecure probably in the moment, and I've been listening to music all day and just running around singing my head off. And I just have so much fun with it, and it's such good practice, and I feel exhilarated and youthful and happy. Okay. So I am a little all over the place because what's happening right now in regards to say my cycle, which we dove into yesterday, because yesterday I was like, I'm an anxious and depressed mess. Okay, yes, and I will get back to that point because I agree. And then I changed my perspective on what that means. So basically, right, yesterday I was in my anxiety, depression, crying spells, wanna or whatever, just like super insecure, right? For like 2 days. And now today, I'm like, oh shit, shake that, I'm moving like a dot, oh, you know, because I'm like, I can be myself again, but it's a lot of catching up. It's a lot of everything that I had to hold back and not express during the 2 weeks where it would have been a Fight Club kind of mess, right? It's not even well, it is kinda like that, but yes, I know how to recharge my battery, and get the you know what's so crazy? So, the other day, I was walking miles and miles, so I went and go bought some flowers, these sunflowers that I have, and I'm, like, so happy they're still thriving as much as they were when I got them out of the tank or whatever, because it was just so fucking special to even find them at such a good price off season. It was just, like, the cutest thing, but I forgot to share with y'all, even though I don't know who fucking watches the replay, so I don't know if anybody who would know what I'm referring to would see this. But oh my god, it's just so funny. I found this stuff. I bought this impulse because I needed to show y'all that I had it. It says when a cardinal appears in your something, it's a visit from heaven. So I've been referencing that where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if it's the Catholics or who the fuck gave me that lore, but I saw this and thought it was hilarious that it specifically says heaven and it's like a basically religious take and the cardinal because I've been reminding people that the cardinal is a sign from the other side. So it's just really funny to me that I found that when I was buying flowers. So that was like almost a week ago, and I forgot to show y'all that because once again I only bought it to show y'all that I kept referring to something that I didn't know what I was referencing, and lo and behold, here it is. So now I probably have to give this down away. And also, I visited the cemetery today. This was like a really nice day, and I like love the fucking. I didn't realize I was as creepy as I am, but I am, and I love the cemetery, and I love being able to visit with, I mean, even randos or just connecting to people in general. And I notice every time, I think it's every time I go there, I lose something. And I don't know if I'm actually losing it in the cemetery or if it's just the same day, but it's like I'm sacrificing something every time I go, unless I'm literally, cause it was the one time I didn't lose anything. But yeah, my lipstick pouch gone. Now my lipstick keychain gone. So now I'm not wearing any lipstick. I did throw on chapstick, brand chapstick, mostly for nostalgic purposes. But yeah, so it's been a long day. I am embracing everywhere I'm at all the time in general, right? Or trying to, anyways. So, speaking of nature, this was sort of my greater point. What I was getting into is I used to think like, oh, I'm getting too cagey. I need to go find a fucking spot to go sit in nature. And because I'm from Michigan, I've always liked sitting in the trees. I've always liked going in the woods. I've always liked to be among my people, so to speak, and be among the tall and the knowledgeable and among greenery and climbing over roots. I love the woods. Like, I don't know. Some people love the mountains and the mountains are cool. And hiking is, I don't know, I can't even lie to you. Hiking up inclined kind of a drag. I can't even fucking lie. It's cool, but it's not that cool, man. I want to hike a bit and kind of like do the trails. Not it's just I'm not a mountain person, right? I've tried it. I just simply am not. I love the trees though. So I always think like, oh, I need to go sit in nature. But of course, it's an inopportune time being winter because it's cold, it's wet, it's all this and that. You can't. Everything's dead. Dangerous time to be in the woods. So I just kind of have accommodated to that aspect of life and kind of just realized that like no matter where I am, as long as I am outside, I am connecting with nature, right? Because I think that part of the reason I'm resonating with Kate Bush so hard. Oh my god, yeah, you do. I'm like so high key, very fucking literally envious of you. It's very rare I would ever say I'm envious of someone. But that's yes, that is the pit of my heart. Envy right there is yeah, that sounds amazing. Sounds beautiful. I think I've thought that it was the only way, but I realized it's just like looking up and speaking with the sky is good enough no matter where I'm at. I think I had this revelation like 5 years ago when I was in sync with everything and had to fucking check in for a few days. Um, but I'm also having a bad hair day and a bad hat day. And let me tell you something. What I realized today, as I ventured out into the world looking like scrub is a guy that thinks he's flying, is awesome and is a buster. Always talking about what he wants and just says on his romance. That's what I look like right now, but not TLC singing it. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Me and T-Boz have the same birthday. But no, they did have it over. Guess I'm giving teal. I guess I'm giving 90s. Okay. I was feeling like the scrub they were bitching about, but you know what? I did get up off my ass today. That's the whole point. So I went to go see if I could get this frog out of this vending machine because I'm convinced it's in there, even though it's just on display. It's huge. All the other toys suck in comparison. I know this sounds really petty and immature, but I want this fucking frog. Yo, I will like show you somehow. But oh my god, it's so cool. It's like a gummy frog. It's not a gummy frog. It's like I'm not gonna describe it. I want this fucking frog real bad. So I had some quarters. I was like, I'm gonna go try to get the frog. It's a no frog day. We got no frog. But I did get to make some kids' day where I was like, I'm not into pugs and I already have this weird putty shit. Here you go, kids. Have it. And they were like, oh, that's so nice. Frog. Um, but I want that frog. So no frog. Had to do something else. I was like, sunset's beautiful. I'm just gonna watch it and just follow it for a while till I hit the point of return and came back and stopped in to say hey to people I don't know yet. And yeah, kindness increased because I realized that despite being in the city, you are still always with nature as long as there's trees around, as long as there's grass around, as long as you can see the sky, as long as you are breathing the outside air, as long as you see a weed in the sidewalk, it doesn't matter. nature is under you, nature's above you, nature's around you, nature's within you. I realized that like it's not necessarily about going and getting lost in the woods, even though that's literally like top tier favorite things to do. It's really truly more, even more so about being able to connect no matter where you are and despite anything. And I think that's kind of where I'm moving into. So today I also realized like a bad hair day. Okay, we can handle that. Bad hat day? Holy fuck, where do you go from there? If you're having a good hat day, you can do anything in a hat. If you're having a bad day, put a hat on. If you're having a bad hair day, put a hat on and watch how good of a day you'll have because you're having a hat day now. Hats make you so much more mysterious because I don't even want to get into it, but hat days are fucking rad. Bad hat day could have really went sideways, but instead, I just leaned into being insane because I knew that I looked insane because I knew I was scrubbed out. I very rarely leave the house in sweatpants, very intentionally because I'm at risk of looking insane and looking like a scrub for being like the local conspiracy theorist, right? Like I'm well aware of who I am as a person. If I don't look the part or look good or do the work into putting on appealing appearance to emphasize the fun and the comfortability of the show, which is who I am as a person, right? Even persona or not. Um, there's like this element of acceptability where if I look like the homeless guy down the street or whatever, then people will probably more so discredit me than if I'm dressed up good or appropriate or appealing to them, to their perceivable eye. Um, I could kind of give a fuck less as long as I feel like I look good. And I felt like I looked like, I agree. I felt like I looked like I could really beat somebody's ass. And I was like, I love that look for myself. So yeah, but it was a bad hat day. It's a little bit better now, but I was really struggling with that. Because when I look in the mirror, I need to be happy. But today I'm like, man, you look unhinged. Let's just do it. I made friends, played games. It was an awesome day. It took me hours to get back home. When I was just going on a simple frog mission. No frogs? Well, double down or something. Double or nothing. The roll, the more dice. No dice because no separate timelines. But okay, what God? What do you mean by that? I'd love that. I'd love to hear it. Tell me. Tell me more. We're really not talking about anything right now, except like I was just saying that my day was totally fucking magical, even though I didn't get my frog. Yeah. And I'm in a chatty mood because I just was in kind of like a non-chatty mood for the past couple weeks or whatever. And now I just am back to not shutting the fuck up, I guess. And I'm just who I am as a person, but also the cycles I go through. Sometimes I'm like, please do not speak to me. Do not want to speak. And sometimes I will anyway, despite feeling that way. And what comes out is usually pretty aggressive. But at this point, I'm more expressive than aggressive because I'm waking back up after being more or less comatose and in Hades. Oh, so it was like a non-entity type god? That's God, I think. Like God. God to me is like this neon spaghetti-ish monster in the sky, in space. And so for you to say of the stars and the mind, body, and soul, that sounds like God. God. I don't know. Personal opinion, I suppose. That's just how I saw or perceived it, or whatever was shown to me was just like Ramin Nazir painting of a god in space was like the ultimate god behind everything. Thank you. That does feel super based, doesn't it? Also, this is driving me nuts. I really designed this forgetting about the follow thing. Can I change this while I'm streaming? I just literally want to move not the text, but like the alerts. Yeah, okay. Let's put this here. Um, like design is so fucking important to me. I'm so shallow. Not this. This is not what I want there. Alerts. Okay. I'd like to move the alert. Come on. Oh my god. It drives me nuts and I always forget when I'm not streaming. So here we are. doing it on stream, y'all are confused and we won't really see anything different until someone follows me again. Thank you, Super Bass, by the way. Um, is that even big enough? All right, cool. Save it. Great. Hi, you got me what? What do you mean? Hey. Okay, if you want to. No, I'm sensing it's God, God. Oh, my memory is so good that there's things that I'll never forget, unfortunately. Oh, thank you. See? Yeah, there you go. Isn't that nicer than putting it over the text? It's like less cluttery. I'm thinking about redesigning the whole thing. I kind of like it. And I think it suits me, and I think the color scheme goes really well with everything I've got going on here, and usually what I'm wearing. But doesn't it feel like time for something else, something new? Also, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Is it? It's kind of Tuesday in a lot of places, so happy Valentine's Day. Um, Still just kind of doing, whatever. You like what? I like barely ate today, but it's because probably I was walking and I ate the sun instead. I swear to God, I think people can photosynthesize. Is that all the info you had on? Oh, okay. I'm so confused, but I don't mind that. I always try to make sense of stuff because some things just don't make sense, and I'm like, please make it make sense. And like, some things just don't. Oh yeah, I'm definitely like seeing God the way that I perceived God in the neon monster form. The reason I related that is because that was the first image that popped in my mind. But I got haters and doubters around me, so maybe you can't trust me, even though everyone else is like, "Wow, that was insanely accurate, super cool." I've been like off a little bit lately. Like today, I asked someone, I was like, "You know a Jim who is dead?" And he's like, "No, not dead. I don't think. Maybe one, but not close to him." I'm like, "Okay, it's weird." Then I got home and I was like, damn, it was a Tim. I got a first and last name. Like once I got back into my energy where it's like people try to kind of crowd around me where it's almost too much going on in one room. So who do I talk to? And sometimes the messages don't come through for the right people at the right time because it's almost like the deceased will see me as available, right? Or I did a walk through a cemetery and then I walked into a room with the living. So I'm like, something of this, something of that. I don't know what the fuck that is, Think about that. But yeah, that's interesting. I had a really interesting day. I had a really wild day. I am me all the time. There's nothing I can do about it. Like I've tried to go other routes, I promise you. Nothing worked out. This is actually working out way better than anything else I've ever tried in my life. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for even enjoying me. Welcome to the stream tonight. I know we're supposed to be doing love readings and the cosmic deck of initiation and a whole bunch of other stuff. I like didn't even. I was feeling so unconfident in the way that I look right now. I didn't even do my ritualistic post a selfie and let people know on Instagram that I'm streaming. I always remind people follow my Instagram. I always know when I stream, and I didn't even do that today. I was running so late. It was so late. I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna get on here anyway. So listen, I'm gonna roll an ad. We'll get more uninterrupted flow. Also, I'm gonna eat a little bit because once I started talking for real, I was like, yeah, no, there's no way I can just continue to not. I ate today with my appetite is like, you know, yeah, no, I'm going to, but I definitely part of the unfocus is hunger. Yes. Oh, take magic. We were saying take food is my thing. I got you. Um, Yo, my body is I'm like at a standstill. I feel like I'm being very blocked by people. And like I am Veronica Marsing the situation. Like who the fuck is it? What the fuck do you want? I'm fucking okay, I'm trying to ignore the signs, but then I pay attention to the signs. So then I move towards them and then I'm wrong and then I go somewhere else. LOL, thank you. I am, yeah, for sure. I definitely am. Jesus Christ. For sure I am. Thank you. It's based, I guess, in something, based in theory, based in Fox Mulder, based in connection from God, the neon space monster. Let's stop right there, play some ads, and kind of like move along. And let me just thank you guys. You're so much fun. And here's my secret on main character energy is to mind your own goddamn business. If you watch any movie ever, the main character very, very rarely is involved in fucking anything. They're mostly just floating by in life, and that's what makes them have the time to be a character because it's like the fuck everybody has to stop to ask. If you're too busy body, you're always gonna be side plot material, right? Anyway, that sounded bitchy as fuck. I don't really see myself that way. I'm definitely like more of a fucking um, narrator of a novel, I would say. So let me just yo. This conversation is ramping up so fast, but that's how my whole day has been. I mean, it was just I really was like today's gonna be so magical. I'm gonna get this frog, and then I was gonna come straight home and get ready and do my normal thing, but I didn't get my fucking frog, so I just kept walking. So it just, I try to just go wherever I be or wherever I need to be and just, wander about until I have something um, very important to do, which to me streaming is. And I think people underestimate how much energy this can be to do these things. I mean, I underestimate how much energy it is to do these things because then I get around people and I'm like, everything feels off. Everything feels blocked. I don't like how much people are fucking, you know. I agree, and I don't know much about ruins. I think what you mean is a sigil. To be honest, I was like kind of trying to not address that, but like I hear what you're saying, and I've been there, and I feel like I have been there, yeah, for sure. Listen, you always gotta close your portals behind you. That's the thing I learned, like just naturally. I feel how the thing, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hi. Sigils and runes aren't really the same thing because runes are physical things, right? Like the tiles are the ruins, but what's on the ruins is sigils because sigils are always drawn. Sigils are always symbols that are drawn on. It can be paper, it could be runes, it could be anything. But sigils are the drawing, and runes are the physical thing. I mean, maybe you'd have to look it up, but um, mm, it, it's making me think of this drawing. Okay, I'll show you. Do you want to see the drawing that I did when I saw the neon spaghetti monster or neon space monster? It doesn't look like the fucking flying spaghetti monster, but like enough, I think. Gosh, I am all over the place today. I am a little all over the place today. Um, God, some people think I'm really hilarious, and some people just find no humor in the way that I live. I can't. I can't deal with the haters anymore. Okay, so I drew something, and because you're like, oh, a portal, I'm like, well, damn, I didn't really think of it that way. I called it a time capsule, but what be a time capsule other than like so this is what I was thinking. I don't know if it's like actually similar or if you'll be able to see it necessarily. It's almost nerve-wracking. This was okay, so this was like November 2019. So you can imagine that this was same time frame as like everything else that I've discussed around that time being very much like, oh, ouchie. For lack of lack of way better terms. Um this is what I drew. You can't see it. Maybe should I turn the brightness down? I don't know how this works. It's like there's a lot of layers there. I didn't choose the colors. The colors are just sort of told to me, and I made the symbol. It's a symbol on top where it almost looks like an 8. Oh, okay. That's why I was like, I don't know, but that's how I understand it. So that makes sense too. That makes sense. Um, so yeah, same color scheme as this like space god. Is I feel like that's like God, like that's at the core of every being God. And then there's like different perceptions of God because God perceives itself as each and every single one of us. And so there's different sects or versions of God to be worshipped or seen from the human perspective, which is still all through all things God and all beings or whatever, but not God in the traditional sense of like any particular God, but this neon space monster in the sky and in space, in the stars, where it's like at the very core of everything. For sure. So it's interesting people's take on things. And I love when people tell me, like, I'm not religious or I'm not this and that. I'm not Catholic. I'm not Christian. And I'm like, what the fuck is your measurement of it? Because I went the whole fucking 9 yards and did Catholic schooling for like 15 motherfucking years. Like, I'm promise you I'm Christian. They confirmed me as such. I never once denied my Jesus. The fuck you mean, bro? You're not allowed to tell me that. Then you made up the rules, and now I'm playing by your rules, and you're trying to say, no, you're playing wrong. Bitch, the fuck I'm not. The fuck I'm not. I probably went to church more than most the not most the Christians you know. It depends on the kind of Christians you know, but still, you know, goddamn, I'm sick of that shit. Body somebody. No, come on, not really. I'm not feeling that aggressive. I'm just feeling intense today. Yeah, people left. They're like, she's Christian. This is confusing. She's wearing an alien beanie. That's a little misleading. Yeah, well, if you would have stuck it out, you would have known that I believe that Jesus is a fucking alien hybrid, and that's why fuck it was such a virgin conception. It was the first incubation. Yeah. But I think the ultimate God really is more like these light beams that bend in darkness or at the center of everything, which would be very much a void in space. And that there's a greater projection around everything that God does. And it's all within, it's all accessible within, and it's all actually without. And it's beautiful. And like no matter how you run it down, it's a simulation on some level, whether it's like a tech thing or a natural thing. But I think it would be indistinguishable for us now based on the understanding we have as a people and with the technology that we use. Because, you know, oh, no, cool. That was pretty deep. I don't know. That was random. Maybe that's what that was like 222. Now it's 123 somewhere. Um, 1, 2, 3, take it and come with me because you look so fine and I really want to make you mine. You look so fine and I really want to make you mine. Let's come on, get your kicks. I don't need money with a face like that, do you, honey? Yo, I sometimes they bother you. Sometimes those things bother you. That's where I came to. I never was very curious about anything in particular. I simply wanted to know more. It was a very general statement, it was very broad. And in turn, I got this little taste, peek, sneak view of a little bit of everything because I didn't ask for anything in particular. And so it's very hard to make that kind of wish come true. It's very hard to materialize or manifest something as broad or general as like just wanting to know why we exist at all. And I think that's like an interesting take. Yeah. Anyways, you have a very odd, I'll just be honest, you have quite an odd energy. What's your sun sign? What's your pronouns? I'm see, and that's the thing, I'm very happy with things. And so I guess that's why it's like, that's interesting that you would come on here and sort of not necessarily talk down because you're making it very clear that you accept my beliefs and you accept what I'm saying. You're not talking about me. And yet you're almost going out of your way, not even to challenge what I'm saying, but simply to say that you disagree with it rather than challenge it or ask me why I feel that way or explore what I'm referring to. And instead, just say that you don't believe it, even though you don't even know what I'm talking about. That's interesting. And then to add that you're unhappy seems almost obvious. And also why I would choose me every single day of the week. So that's interesting. What's your sun sign? Mhm. That's yeah. That's me in a nutshell, just very pretty honest. And I definitely try to like connect with the fucking energies around me. And I think when people have untamable or uncontrolled or unnerved energy, they don't realize it. that's sort of the whole gig with this is reflecting on conversation. And typically people will ask questions rather than just say, right? And it's not even about seeing my perspective or not. It's the way you handle yourself in conversation is what is somewhat in the least offensive way possible. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Nobody else is chatting with me. And here's the thing, I do talk a lot. And sometimes people don't always really like talking to me. So I get that like streamers also or viewers maybe also don't want to talk to me or that I can be difficult in conversation. So this is far from being lost on me, apologetically at the very least. But whether anyone's talking to me or not, I still talk and will think of something to say. Lately, it feels like um, I wouldn't necessarily want to take a break from this, especially because things seem to be going well. But energetically speaking, it does feel like I'm having a harder time actually hearing what the dead have to say because they are fixating me on the living. They are making me focus more. That's not even what you did. It's okay to get off topic and it's okay to go on tangents. What I disliked was your negative attitude towards doing those things rather than in the same way of exploring and conversing as per usual. And that's all. There's also a delay in the chat and with what I say. And so I feel like when one moves on and then something comes up, it feels like it is going on for too long, but it's because of the delay that makes it that way. So like I understand that a lot of what I read, because it's like it's off by sometimes a few minutes. It like makes less sense in the moment that I read it than it would when you send it, if that also checks out. And that's something I realize is on Twitch, regardless of who I am as a person. There's definitely flaws in communication when it comes to streaming or just being on phones or internet, regardless. That's why I like yeah, that's why sometimes it's good to be able to get the in-person stuff. But I realize that I find human beings, the living ones, just really are kind of like a bit more exhausting, I think, than the deceased. I'm using Twitch Studio Beta. There's nothing else that really works for me. A lot of it's so geared towards gaming that they hardly have options for like full camera settings rather than the split screen. And a lot of it is actually behind a paywall. And I'm like, damn, this is easier and more customizable and basically just do you think I would lag less if I were on a different service? And if so, which would you recommend? Because once again, I've downloaded two other ones, and one of them, all the customization was behind a paywall, and the other one was like literally like, okay, so what's your gamer handle? What games are you playing? It's weird, right? Yeah, but Twitch beta has sucked. It's given me many problems over the course of the last year, however long. Well, it's been about a year since I've been streaming on Twitch. It's been problematic. It has sucked, actually. So I'm like open to other ones, but I'm far from wanting to invest whatsoever in Twitch when I'm getting payouts, but barely, right? Like it's not like my full stream of income. It's a stream of income, right? And like we all know that. But be patient. That's fair. Oh, you just switched? Okay, see, and I did think it was good. I'm glad. Um, Yeah, that's kind I think OBS was one of the ones I tried, and Streamlabs was the other one, and one of them was really hard to use and formatted for gaming, and the other one was like, "Oh, you have to pay for that after you already do it." It was weird as fuck, and yeah, this is so much easier, and um, it's just like I don't have time to like put so much time into something that's like as time consuming as Twitch is. So it's just it's funny how yeah, it must be. And OBS was more gamer stuff from what I recall. But I did try both of them, and it was just like, damn, neither one of these are meant for me. I have to stick to this right now. Um, that's so funny because as much as I've been saying like I feel blocked from the deceased and like I'm not really receiving messages, one, the whole point of Aquarius season was for knowledge to come through and people to experience like the truth and understand things. Okay. We've addressed this in every which way already. Let that go and ask that you also go. Because you have a very argumentative way about you, whether you realize it or not. Not necessarily negative, but it's like we're just going at a bit of a more fluid pace is all. And as a fire sign, I imagine fluidity is hard for you because you prefer straight lines most likely and more direct. Yeah, no, I get it. And it's also gutting in a sense. There's something else going on with you, and that's why you seek God but are miserable. And there's not necessarily someone you lost right now. I'm hearing something about like a it's not a Kurt thing. It's not I like lost it. It was like a very intense image. But once again, feeling more connected to the living lately and it's pissing me off. I'm much more comfortable talking to people who are no longer here and have no ability to talk to me otherwise. People who try to get up in my fucking shit because they know I'm psychic or they question whether or not I can hear them or they want to know how strong it is and that, which has been a very much a theme lately. I'm like, damn, can y'all leave me the fuck alone? But no matter what I'm going through, I can always, always, always hear Nico, and that's how I know it's real. So I don't know. People trying to incite doubt in me is very odd. Very odd. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the day I'm having. Some people really spoke life into me and really saw me for who I am, and others refused to see. Period. And if you refuse to see, and if you refuse to get that thing open, that third eye or whatever have you, pineal gland be calcified, you're just going to be unable to see any of the things that you want so desperately to see because in order to see them, you have to see the things you've never wanted to see and never knew existed. And that's the trade off. And it's a misery to do. And that trade off is painful and it's sacrificing, and you lose a lot. I lost years of my life to know the things that I know. I've lost decades of my life to know the things that I want to know. And that's because I go through a ritualistic sacrifice each month. And other people think that they can't handle it. Holy fuck. I mean, I guess I inherently chose this at some point before I was born, but then I woke up in a human reality and was scorned for being unable to control what I have failed to understand at all. And then I finally gained control over it, and all anyone wants to do is remind me of once more, once upon a time, there was a this and that. Okay. Well, if you want to go back to that time, how about you? What you doing now? Same shit. Okay, me different. That's good though. It's good. Good for everybody. Always gotta check your progress, but check it to yourself. And if somebody comes to check you, then you check them and say, guess what? Guess who? The fuck you mean? Exhausting, man. Exhausting. Um, if I had a dime for every time I was told I was wrong, I think I'd only have $1. Been doing this for at least 10 years. And I'd actually probably only have 90 cents because at least one of them admitted later on that, yeah, actually, I was spot on. And the reason they denied it is because they felt so called out that they couldn't handle it in the moment being exposed. But 3 weeks later, when they had that tower moment that I warned them about because of what they had done, they inevitably told me everything. And that was wild. It was in my early days too. So, um, try to just go with it. But right now, my intuition seems like it's blocked because everyone else's intuition's getting stronger right now. And I think that it's almost like it's not like it's like I'm on a break. But I'm still streaming. So a lot of what I've been saying lately seems like conversation. I don't think we've really had much. Well, I did a reading last night, but once again, it felt very personal. It felt very much like again, people interfering with my energy more than it felt like there was a point or a message to be made of it. And that's been very irksome because even when I'm not streaming, I like to stay connected and I like to be into or integrated into the energies of spirit or whoever we're channeling or whatever deck I'm using or whatever mindset, conversation, conspiracy that we're getting into. I do put a lot of work into what I do. Um, that's why I spend the day learning about myself, about nature, about God, about the sky, about anything, right? Because I'm putting myself out there and doing it. And that's where a lot of people are confused or what they're missing because they read the books and they go by the fucking calculations and do as one does and follows instructions. And there's just such a big part of all of this that is so far from that. But a lot of people, um, it is. And, as much as my life is far from being perfect, and I am considerably also living in the strife of the way the world is, I managed to make myself happy by doing these things that other people perceive as childish or something I need to grow out of or something that's weird or something that's inherently bad because it's not typically what people do. That I'm the fucking fool, but at the end of most days, I'm the one that's the happiest with the way I am or how I live. Whereas most people are questioning who the fuck they are and why they're doing what they're doing. And I personally am like, this all makes a lot of sense. I am very much where I need to be. I'm very much in my energy. I'm very much doing what I want. I'm very much good at it and very happy that after all this time, all these years, right? I'm finally getting to be the way and who and what I want to be. And I'm letting zero people stop me. And so the same people who were trying to prevent me from seeing myself in the first place are the same people who are going to keep doubting me now. And I'm well aware of that. And so I just sit back and I have to listen because I tried to convince myself that they were telling the truth for a long time. But the more that I've learned to be honest and the more radically honest I become, the more I perceive lies for what they are. Whether there is a root or a cause, I can sense it. And there are people who are better at it than others, but that's beside the point, anyways. So, kind of definitely feel you. And can I ask you how old you are? I feel like a lot of young people are drawn to my channel, and then like the odd 20 somethings or the quiet 30 somethings. But a lot of the people who really chat with me and are willing to talk about this, I find are younger. And I'm curious how old you are. And not in an offensive way. I'm not implying that you are. Mm. Mm. Interesting. Oh. Um. Interesting. So I kind of feel that. It's like a. You're kind of new to this stuff. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. That's kind of what I was getting at. Is like everyone from our generation criticizes me for what I've done and the way I've lived, and has the whole time I did it. The whole time I walked this path to get here. To be able to get paid to sit here and talk about conspiracy theories and be unhinged and ridiculous all day long and be like, it's part of my job. And everybody's like, fuck yeah, it is, you little poet, beatnik bitch. Fuck yeah. Beautiful. You're literally harmonious. Nobody said that to me today, but I'm feeling it now. Um, Today, someone told me that I was extraordinary, very casually, too. Just came up and said, I was thinking about you because a great, you seem like a great person and interesting and very extraordinary, or something very similar to that. Stuck out because extraordinary is not typically a word that you would casually use for someone, but this person that I only met a few times did a deep dive, and anybody who does is like, yeah, now I'm enthralled, now I'm confused, now I'm fucking, what the fuck? Yeah. Um, because a lot of people did avoid going this route. And they did avoid these things because it's it's hard. It's like, okay, we had this brief period of like witches and pandemic and people being like, okay, we need to like use magic to make the world better again. And then once the world got better again, they stopped caring about magic. And that's what we're seeing happen right now. Where anybody who was like doing it because it trended or because it felt cool at the time or because it felt accepted, it is accurate. It is accurate. But people like me, I'm not saying I'm far from being the only one. I know a ton of witches. Okay, I've had a ton of elders show me this path, guide me on this path, and make sure I stayed safe on this path the best that they could. But they're all significantly quieter than I've ever been. And that's what makes them so proud of me for walking in the truth, speaking the truth, and that's why they support me as quietly as possible because they don't want to they don't want to blow their own covers. But they are still so proud of me for speaking up and saying what needs to be said or what I feel needs to be said. So while it's been nothing but criticism, ridicule, ostracization, as much as it's not as dramatic as being, well, I am queer, so a lot of it probably comes from that. And I just don't realize it. Um, I'm like ignorant to hatred. I'm like confused by it, but then I also get so mad and want to fucking kill shit, burn shit, fuck school. So it goes both ways for sure. But being this age and being the way, being having been like this all this time, since I was a kid, fucking obsessively watching Practical Magic, making potions and shit, and just never giving it up, right? And having never had real obstinate goals, real tangible goals, like there was never a time that I was interested in like ever going to school. When I was a kid, I considered becoming a nun because I wanted to invoke on a spiritual journey, basically. But because I was in Catholic school, I knew that only to be becoming a nun, right? So this has always been what I wanted to do and who I've been. And I've studied it for a long time because of that. I never got sidetracked. I never said I wanted to be an astronaut. I never said I wanted to be anything but an artist, a nun, and a teacher. And now I'm all of that. Sort of. Okay, none's a bit of a stretch. What are you giving me? You fucking spoke we can have sex. What kind of nunnery is this? A kindness devoted to Christ and willing to speak his truth and stand up for him in the face of non believers and pseudo believers, pseudo followers. I am a nun. Fuck it. Because I said so? I don't know. Is that blasphemous? No, I'm Catholic. I'm confirmed. Bitch, you shouldn't have made the rules like that if you didn't fucking like it. Yeah. What even are we referring to? The spiritual stuff? Yeah. So that's the thing. People got into it on the surface level. They saw someone do a spell on TikTok, so they copied it and did the spell. What the fuck are you doing? You don't really know. You don't really have a deep attachment to it. You don't really fucking know what you're messing with, playing with. But someone like me who's been studying this since I was probably about fucking 5, I was confused. Why y'all telling me to talk to this dead dude? But I guess I will. How long has he talked back? For as long as I can remember, I thought this was prayer. And then as you get older, you're like, hey, yo, Jesus talks back, right? And everyone's like, no, it's just kind of a thing. You know, you hear God in other ways and he sends you signs. I'm like, that's so bizarre because someone's talking back to me, right? It was the early days of necromancy, a completely religious experience, a religious teaching, a religious upbringing, you know? And that is so beautiful because it was supposed to just be for my education or my safety or whatever, but it became who I am now because I got that early indoctrination, quite frankly, but really very few regrets other than I wish I would have realized all of this a lot sooner, walked in my truth earlier, and maybe known about fucking PMDD in the process. That would have saved me a lot of time and given me a lot of my years back. I just knew what the fuck that was because I've only had half my months ever. And some months I don't get the good half because I'm like the bad half so bad, right? So out of control that the good half is like irrelevant. It's all damage control. And now I actually get my half good months. So I still get half my life now, but most of it's gone. The PMDD. So I'm in a better place now than I ever was. And some people think I'm just in a horrible place, like I'm fucking mental and mentally unwell. Yup. Even though I'm just spiritually open and always evolving. And it makes people unsettled because I can adapt so fast to a thought or a belief or to what somebody says without compromising who I am as a person. And that's like typically people pleasers are the only ones who will succumb to somebody's whim like that. But I can accept you without changing who I am. And that's it. That's as far as it goes. That's it. I can love myself and understand if no one else chooses to do that. Why would I need anyone else to love me if I love myself? If anyone does, bonus, that's great. If no one does, at least I do. And that's how I get by every day. It's what makes me so goddamn happy. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I was very much rejected before I got to this point. I was even rejected. It was not that long ago. It really wasn't until I started streaming on Twitch specifically that people were like, "No, I fucking hear you. No, actually, I believe you. No, I really would like to know more." I've always had my individual clients with tarot, but it wasn't until I got on here that crowds of people were like, "Yo, I like this." Like my YouTube never really popped off. Capricorns really liked that channel. So my videos did okay, but like the growth was very stagnant over 2 years, and I've already surpassed that on Twitch in one. So I'm like, I get that. Been so rejected, so rejected, and that you have to learn how to handle rejection, and so I have, and that's why it's like I just swallowed like a pretty much a whole clove. That's kind of why I'm like just unafraid to shoot my shots, or just always remind people to shoot their shots because it's like the worst thing is that someone can say is no or whatever, but like it's better than just dwelling or not knowing at all, you know? So today should be just as interesting as yesterday, and it'll be just as interesting as tomorrow. I have full faith in that because every single day I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna get into? What is spirit gonna lead me to do? You know, the beauty of freelance work, huh? I really like that. But I also only got to this point because I realized that having a regular job was just out of the question because of the PMDD, let alone also being fucking weird as fuck. You give me a shot and I'm like, so aliens. They're like, God damn it. Like, do you ever stop? And it's like, no, like, this is literally just who I am, what I do. I'd like to get back into art. I'm hoping to make music this week. Like, when I can't do anything, because I'm in pain on my period, having cramps, having deep tissue, bone, muscle, joint, fucking horrendous pain, and literally am incapacitated, cannot move. All I have to do is sit and dwell and think about stuff. And if I don't direct those thoughts, they just become gross and intrusive violence towards myself. So if I am not just like, fuck it, I'm just going to lean into spirit and see what else is going on, and understand my suffering on a deeper level, then I just have to straight suffer instead of gaining any kind of perspective or benefit from the suffering that I inevitably endure every fucking month. So, yeah, yeah, intrusive thoughts are no joke. So, and knowing that they're coming, I have to just work around that. It's so crazy, but I'm doing a pretty good job of it. But people don't understand what the fuck I do. And so they automatically reject me, and decide for themselves that I can't possibly be who I am because it doesn't align with who they are or what they believe. And it's like, bro, I've existed way longer than whatever the fuck is in your head about me right now. On period, right? That's just facts. So either way, the timer's rolling right now. We got like 2 minutes before the ad. I'm just gonna run it. There was something I wanted to do. Kind of don't remember what it is though. We're losing people. This conversation is not that interesting to anyone, but actually, it's probably just bedtime for most people. They're like, "Girl, you started so late." Like, I don't even know. Anyways, let's roll the ads before the pre-rolls go off. Be right back. Yeah, again, not referring to you unless you're the same person who was dogging on me just earlier today, if not moments before I decided to do this out. So that's like no problem. I appreciate it. Once again, I feel more accepted on Twitch than I have ever in any other area or time in my life because I have always been, oh, she's just weird, she's just crazy, she's just gay, she's just this, she's just that. Like, I don't know. It's always something that people have to use as a means to understand what the fuck I'm doing when I'm literally just doing me and just like kind of living life. Like it's just always been a fucking problem for people. I get it. And yet I only get it because I've had to deal with it so many motherfucking times over and over and over again. And it's like, do I just change who I am or do I continue to find better for myself? Because it's actually what I believe the latter. Where I kept just accepting that narrative when I'm like, actually that sounds tired. That sounds done with. That sounds like I should go somewhere I'm appreciated. Voila. And that's okay, because you know what I like to remind myself? You know, if Hunter S. Thompson entered a writing contest, there's a very slim chance that he would win. And why? He's one of the best writers of his generation. He's one of the best writers in American history, at least in the modern sense. But even without the modern sense, who else would you put on that list? Even if it were of all time. The Bible has no singular creator, has no one writer. So who would make it to that list alongside him, right? How do I immediately black out? Oh, Hunter S. Thompson. He wouldn't really win a writing contest. I don't like Kurt Vonnegut. I don't think he's that good of a writer. Him same though. Why? Because they don't necessarily follow the rules because what they do isn't necessarily the best in the pack, the best in the stack, the best in the bunch. It's the most interesting, it's the most unique, it's the most different. But of course, those things will never inherently get you the proper accolade, right? Ready? One, that you might be in competition for because it deviates not only the norm but the set rules to what is. It's the same value that I see in all of my art, right? Because Andres Thompson in particular, like, literally just went to a another country and reported on the news there because he was able to be more radical and he was appreciated for being bold enough to cover what was actually going on. And it wasn't until he moved back to the States and did drugs and became popular in that regard and like branched off into writing novels that he was regarded, right? Because as a journalist student in America, he was okay. He was average. He was whatever. Nobody cared. Then he got a job, a legit job. Once again, I think it was Costa Rica, I want to say, reporting for the news there, writing the news there, and there was so much going on at the time that he was covering some fucking real shit. So that's where he comes from, was being unaccepted to going and doing something completely different and in turn finding himself and becoming who he was as we know him, right? Well, writing is the thing. Yeah, that's beyond. I mean, how shit-faced really was he? He was, but it's all everyone we know, everybody does things like that's quite there were times, but he rarely worked that way. He's like me, you experience something, you think about it for long enough, and then you write it down. He did a lot of his writing sober, surprisingly. That's what I'm hearing. I know, but that's once again perception. That's exactly what we're talking about. He would have never been able to be that person had someone not given him the chance to be some regular human, right? And he didn't really stand out of a crowd amongst his own crowd. And it wasn't until he left the crowd that he stood out at all. So it's just like now we just see him as this person. But I agree, he was really fucked up. He had a lot of stories, and there were people who witnessed him doing a bunch of shit. I totally get that too. I think the perspective or the way I speak on things is because I channel the dead. I don't know if Hunter S. Thompson's really coming up. I can definitely see him. He's cancer, and I kind of like no, but like I said, lately it's like blocked, and I don't know if it's because I'm trying too much to choose who I'm talking to. Because I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I still think it's the living people, but it's weird because literally just before I started, Nico came to me and was like, "Yo, go smoke a cig," and I'm like, "I ain't got cigs," and she's like, "Okay, smoke weed, but do it where you would smoke cigs." And I'm like, "Okay, good point. I'm gonna do that. That's a good point." So I was like, "All right, got that checked off the list." But then now I'm sitting here and just talking about Hunter S. Thompson, even though I'm only saying things that I've read about him, right? And referring to things that I've consumed about his life from a third party perspective or a third party source, i.e., the internet, right? Yeah. Oh, dude, that's typically you should, dude. If you look at like pictures of some of the fucking outfits that I do, my hair all the time. I wear anytime I wear a fucking. He's bald, but I'm saying my hair kind of throws it off. But if I'm in a bucket hat and the fucking, I have so many floral shirts and that I never give like in my mind, I'm like, is this giving I'm into women? And it's like, no, it's giving Hunter S. Thompson for sure, 100% all the time, all the time. I get that so often. Every time I get dressed without a theme, okay, like I started picking themes of the day because people were just telling me every day that I looked like Hunter S. Thompson. So I pick themes now. Me, my bestie, or my partner, or some combination of the three of us will come up with a random theme of the day. So today was like maximum comfort, literally maximum comfort, as quick as possible. Camo overall sweats, perfect. Maximum comfort as quick as possible, literally amazing. It was like done and dusted, out of this world. You know, throw a hat on, boom. A little bit of flavor, yeah. A little bit of warmth, done. Did I look like shit? Yeah. Was I a bit insecure about it? Totally. I give way too much crackhead energy to look homeless like this. Nothing against homeless people. Very sad. And actually, I was thinking about that today. We're like, I don't really mind. I mean, I don't. Anybody can think what they want of me. Okay. I've known homeless people. I've interacted with homeless people who are on the streets, and I've known homeless people who come and stay with me when they have no home. When I have the home to have them, right? And it's just like crazy how much people discount them when in reality they're probably some of the like most kind of the greatest, not, I don't know where, there's something disrupting this thought. I noticed that my views went down when I'm catching a person watching, and it's like, how are you doing this without the extra view that I just heard? Again, living people literally disrupting me. Like, I am so over it. And I don't know why. I don't know where it's coming from. Where when I'm in the chair, I always just deliver the messages. And if you watch my past streams, even my streams from a fucking week ago, were way less about any specific person, any specific human. It has only been in the past like week, maybe two, but not even like the past week. That it's just been overwhelming, like no escaping, annoying, annoying. Um, with the living, it's like I don't know, right? And I've always just been like, I'm gonna do what I can to be the most caring and most loving person I can be because I know that I'm downright cruel and wretched at times, and even sometimes violent. So I do everything I can to be caring, loving, kind, and compassionate. And it is very hard because it is a fucking daily challenge when people are more rewarded for being cutthroat, dishonest, and fucking willing to fuck people over because that's what gets you ahead. It's what gets you in people's good graces. It's what gets you a good reputation. Is because if you stomp on the other person first, then they can't stomp on you, right? But never. I walk away from so much without a fucking word because it's honestly never been important enough to me to really say anything about anyone in particular, unless they really bother me. Yeah, that's something that's come up on the channel recently is how once you start healing, only toxic people are going to tell you how toxic you are when it is how toxic you were. When you're admitting that you're toxic and you're in the process of detoxifying, only people who are still in their own toxicity are going to tell you that you're awful. A true healed person is going to just ask what makes them awful to you. right? What makes you awful to them? Like a healed person is only going to wonder what's really wrong. They're not going to ask or fight you on the work you're doing or doubt that from you. They're going to wonder why it is that you felt like that in the first place. And that's even more difficult for people, I think, for some reason. And I could never figure out why. I could never figure out why. Um, and people trying to analyze me, is so interesting because it's like, first of all, there's really far from anything to analyze. Second, if you want to know something, fucking listen. I'm open to questions, ask me anything, but if someone approaches me with the mindset that they're going to analyze me, it's like interesting because if I can handle abductions, I think I can handle your little analysis. And listen, they're one and the same to me. Next. Because why pry when I'm very out in the open? There ain't nothing you can't learn about me, really. And there's something that's terrifying for some people, but it's freeing for me in so many ways. And I try to just help other people get to that point where if they're struggling less because they're hiding less of who they are and all that, then makes it easier for them to show you their good side, I suppose. But also, in the same note, in the same, is this why he was just jumped up? This is why I thought about a living person like 5 minutes ago. Either it lagged in the viewership or they just walked in. And I'm like, that's why. Because I was thinking a lot about time travel today. And I'm like, damn, bro, that's so crazy. Because I think about when I would have started it and now I'm starting to conceptualize like what that really means or how long this has gone on or how long I've been doing this. And it's just like so bizarre because I see that it's not just me. So it's not like some mental fucking chamber I'm stuck in. It's a hardcore belief, but also more than that, it's some sort of like sleep system, right? Um, I don't know why I would call it a sleep system. That's odd, don't you think? Don't you think that's odd? There are certain words that come to me that come through different means of message, like abruptly in my mouth, kind of speak this moment rather than really think of it or hear it and relay it. So, a sleep system, I guess we're referring to dreams. Hmm. Really? I believe you. I believe you. Um, I think people assume that because I'm confident in who I am or committed to who I am, that I'm never self conscious. But yeah, that too. I could see that. I'm not even sure that we're constantly waking up into realities as much as all the realities exist simultaneously, and sometimes you come very close to them. And perceivably, you'd be able to jump. Maybe that really like showed me how it would be done if we were to do it. I'm not really sure what that's about. And it was with my heart. And I have to remain that way because I'm still alive for all effective measures. And there is something about that that has to never change. It has to never change. Like I've seen it and I know it. And my whole objective is to never convince anyone of it because it will inevitably weigh it down. And focusing on what I'm doing and how much I love and how much good I can do is the only way to keep me light as a feather. And that's where I need to be because that is on my own reality and my own beliefs and my own journey that my goal is ultimately not to please Anubis, but to pass through the Eye of Horus, right? It's like ultimately the only portal that is ever known in this reality is death. That is something that I very much look forward to moving through. And yet I'm trying to be patient and see where life takes me and see how life plays out because sometimes I am literally so fucking miserable that I would like to tap out. I admit it, yes. And that's on PMDD, bro. On nothing else. That's the PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Look it up right fucking now. Thousands of womb carriers, thousands of people assigned female at birth dealing with this, hundreds hundreds of thousands dealing with these like extreme effects of like feeling suicidal, feeling like purposeless, feeling so insecure and paranoid that you have no idea what the fuck is real anymore, feeling like uncontrollable rage, and it's on the fucking clock. Oh, you sound bipolar. You have BPD. You're mental. How interesting for someone who has no idea anything about me to have that perception when in reality, all of those things are fucking unpredictable. And you know what is very predictable? PMDD. Okay. So, as much as it seems unhinged to you, it's rhythmic for me. I knew to walk many miles today and get most of my energy out before I streamed and to talk to random people and get things going because I knew today would be a day where I was coming back into my own self and reality. And I only have a couple days before I get into insane ape mode and start fucking primating. Okay. I get like 3 days a month where I'm like out of the water, out of the clear headed for once. And so it speeds up rapid fire. Holy shit, I have a lot to catch up on, a lot to say, a lot to do, a lot to think, a lot to fucking feel. Because none of my life has been real for the last 2 weeks. It's been fucking insane, intrusive, violent thoughts and delusions that I try to battle with a slice of reality or a sense of comfort from dead people just in case it kills me. Okay. Does it clear anything up for anybody? I'm just not sure when people are so baffled by what I do or what they don't get, especially if they've known me for a really long time. Yeah, I totally get that. And it moves fast, I know. And I know, and you've been here for all of it. And so you don't realize or notice the switches as much when you and I are talking or I'm generally talking. And then that's why I don't do personal readings on this channel. Because as soon as somebody walks in the room, I'm going to know it. And I'm going to feel it and I'm going to have something to tell them. And whether or not it's to you directly, because you may not know me, right? Then it's a way to perceive yourself the way you're not perceiving someone. It's a message for you regardless. Okay. I have a sense that there was someone who was like, okay, yeah, that did sound personal. It probably is personal. Okay. But in the event that it isn't, because shrouds of doubt, clouds of hate, whatever the fuck you want to call it, blockages, um, that's okay. There's a message in it for you if you're here. And there's only a handful of people in this room, you know? Yeah, that's fair too. Um, the latency is definitely extreme sometimes. So, yeah, no, I'd be giving myself chills too, you know? It's crazy for some people to perceive me even, but in living it is like, oh my God, y'all make it more difficult for me than anything else. What I do comes with ease, but then like having to explain it to people or deal with people, and I'm not talking about like on the stream necessarily, but just literally just living my life. Because it's the radical honesty above all other things, and the openness to vulnerability and the ability to experience intimacy, all of those things also come to ease for me. And so people are like very like frightened and confused by that alone, let alone all the other stuff like the tarot, the necromancy, this and that, the talking, the streaming, all the fucking crazy aliens, blah blah blah. Where they're like, I can't even get past the fact that you literally don't have a hidden agenda. You just put your agenda up on the screen. You like literally just tell everyone what you're doing at all times, and you don't even care. And it's like, yeah, well, what do I have to hide? Nothing is hidden, nothing is secret. Everything done in the dark will come to light. If you have a hidden agenda, guess what? You'd rather it be blasted than just be honest about what it is that you want, what you're doing. I could never, I could never imagine that. That is wild. That is wild. And I try to like tread so lightly because sometimes I'm called to do things because spirit calls for them, right? Or I hear it or I'm compelled to do it. And it's like, why? Well, because I'm spiritual, right? Like, because I do this for a living, because I listen in and I always have, once again, have been attuned and practicing in the astral realm since I was probably a 6 or 7, maybe 8. I always say 8, but it's hard to say if that's when it actually started. And before that, I was practicing necromancy since I was about 4. So it's just like you can continue to argue with me, that's fine. And you may not perceive me as much of a professional because I'm not, but I am an expert in this field because it's my field and I made it up. In the sense that everything I fucking learned, I interpreted it in my own way while still gaining all the same experience as anyone else who would have done what I did. But because I'm ingenuitive, I created a new path for myself. If anybody chooses to follow, that's on them. I was doing this for me, right? There was nothing to prove. There were things that I found. There were places I was led. There was things that I heard. There were things that were said. There was feelings involved. Sure, there was things on my mind or in my heart or in my chest. But at the same time, I would never want to compromise what someone else has. So I would never, right? But I do get compelled occasionally to put something out or to say something or do something or reach out, even if I don't know how. And that's because I can handle rejection, handle confrontation, understand where people are coming from, be vulnerable, be emotional. And even when that has never been reciprocated or is hardly ever reciprocated, there's never been a time I didn't continuously choose to do that or be that way. Okay. I'm really unsure what this is about. And the fear to me is mind blowing because I just never understood any alternative. But I was always made fun of for being sensitive, for being emotional, for being too serious, for being immature and simultaneously too mature because I got called grandma and also called a child. And so you can see how it's actually just varying perceptions of me when I was indeed a constant that was only ever growing and evolving and never truly at the core forfeiting who I am once again. Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds great. How's everybody doing, by the way? We got like 8 minutes before the pre-roll. There's a lot of people. I'm not opposed to doing tarot, but now that we've gotten to know each other, now that we've talked, yeah, I was just talking. We were just Pookie. We were just talking. Pookie. Name that musical. Where's Source at? I know Source knows what I'm talking about. It won't work. I look before I leave. I love margins and discipline. I make a list in my sleep, baby. What's my sin? Never quit. I follow through. I hate mess, but I love you. What to do with my impromptu baby? You know? No. I guess Source isn't here. He thought I always knew when he's watching. I'm like, no, you are one of my best lurkers. I actually never have any idea. Unless, of course, he is here and just can't say anything about it. I'm not sure. So, anyways, I was talking about me, but because there's so many people here, we could do tarot. I've been leaning towards, I know it's Valentine's Day. We did a pretty weird tarot, romance tarot soulmate deck reading last night. It was not great. It wasn't like the best, in my opinion. Maybe it was very fulfilling for other people, but once again, it felt like very living human energies coming to ask me a bunch of things through a screen mentally instead of actually speaking directly to me. And I would hate to have a repeat of that tonight as 3333333 enters the time. Um, because why would I? Why would I? Why would I? Why would I? It's redundant. Once again, taking up so much of my time and everybody trying to act like, oh, you're crazy for thinking that or doing that. It's like, oh, I have 25 years of experience, but sure, let me just, because you didn't like me for 5 minutes, just forfeit everything I know and have ever experienced. Let me just, you're right. Owie, owie. Okay, so I love angel numbers. I love angel numbers. I get it though. I went to Catholic school, but I've always liked them. It is a lot of predispositions. Yeah. Well, I'm vaccinated to many degrees because I grew up, you know, in the associated with Western medicine, to say the least. And I've always gotten vaccines, and I got the first, like the one couple shots, like traveling, and I was like, honestly, I'm not gonna argue with anybody. Here's my fucking card. I don't care. I just want to go on a fucking trip. Like, bye. So I got one. So far, I feel like zero data feedback on that. Glad I didn't keep getting them, but like, I feel like people I know who were unvaccinated just get equally sick as often as I do. And that's more than I ever did in the last 10 years. So I think it's where people attribute these things or these negative qualities to the vaccine. I think the virus itself is actually fucking, oh, well, thanks. I am a witch doctor. That's kind of the whole presence. But just when it came up, I was like making it clear, like I have no real stance on that other than like it was all very real. It just probably was contrived. That's the thing, hidden agendas, right? Anything done in the dark will come to light. That's why I keep all my shit right in front of everybody. You know what I got behind my back? A bouquet of fucking flowers, okay? My heart that I wear on my sleeve is the only thing I keep in the dark sometimes, and the only thing that maybe I'm not really speaking. Fuck yeah, I do. In what sense do you mean that? Because I have made friends with people who I never knew in this life that are on the other side, and I also, a lot of my friends have died. Yeah, it's not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. I know people who, like, have had a lot of the friends die. What if you, people that I would really love, oh, my bad, like Coco? You make me un poco loco. Or, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm too hyped tonight. I don't know what the fuck that energy is. I do know what that energy is. Don't fucking lie to me. Got you. I haven't seen that one, but they got Papa Legba in that, right? I thought you needed to be sleeping with the whole thing. Why you even let me? There's some kind of fucking. Thank you. Thank you. Literally one fucking injection is really not the game changer they think it is. It is so bizarre, man. I am a little overcharged probably. I might, you know what? That actually might make sense. But once again, I'm coming out of dead battery where it's like I have to have the overcharge just to make sure that I stay even somewhat charged when I'm depleted, drained, and left for dead, bleeding. Nobody leaves me for dead. I'm taken care of, but like literally, that's what would happen if I was left unattended. I would just be like, "Fuck it, like I'm good. I'm gonna lay here and fucking die about it." It's so miserable sometimes. So I am excited. I am very excited to be back in my own element and to be experiencing myself once again and shaking off this paranoia, shaking off the anxiety, shaking off the depression, shaking off the pain, shaking off the suffering, shaking off the sacrifice, moving into a new moon cycle and a new womb cycle. Hallelujah, 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 bro. Another one down and only like 25 more years worth of every month to go. Okay. 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 Yeah. I wouldn't want to deal with me either. I wouldn't sign up for that. Nobody who in their right mind would sign up for that. Stupid. Yeah. The doom and gloom. The bloodbath. The mental prison, the Sarah Paulson, the Tyler Durden. They're all gone. It's just me, Illuminati Mystex, and all the versions of me that exist in my own being until Lana Winters shows up and fucking ruins my life and everything. Dude, I always liked that as a Pokemon too. Gloom is a great word. A lot of words that we find to be negative are actually really awesome, and sometimes the words we think are awesome can be somewhat negative. All right, so I have to roll the ads because the pre rolls are going to go off in 30 seconds. When I come back, I'm going to ask what y'all want to do next, but it will be 3 minutes, so take your time, go explore if you need to. But this is where it's at right now. This is my time of the night. We're just warming up. We're just an hour and a half into me being a mess. But now we're getting grooving. So if you want to stick around for tarot, we'll talk of the plan in 3 minutes. But for now, we've only got 8 seconds. So I'll be right back. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. You just that literally explains it. Thank you. You know what's so funny too is that I deal with the Sag Moon, and it's also like that's so crazy because I noticed with this full moon there was a lot of full moon energy the days after the moon went full. The moon went full on the 5th, but people were acting whack as fuck until like the 8th, and now things are finally coming down. And I'm like all over the place, wake the fuck up because I'm fucking, oh, my period's over, ready to be insane again. But you know what? That moon in Sagittarius will do it because Sag season was lame as hell. Sag season is supposed to be so deep and insightful and fulfilling and spiritual and fucking powerful, and that shit was weak as fuck. It was like Sagittariuses were sleeping, bro, and it was like, that's fine. I can take a rest. I do not do personal readings on this channel. There is no list to join. That is not how this works. You either stick around and vibe or you fucking don't, and nobody's gonna convince you to do either fucking one. Thank you so much, bro. Beautiful. I'm not a Sag, I'm a Taurus. I love Sagittarius though. I like need Sagittarius energy in my life for sure at all times. love me some Sagittarius. Some of my best gal friends are definitely Sagittariuses. Some of my no, I can't even say. I don't really know that many Sag men that I can think of off the top of my head. But Sag women are definitely awesome, so I like Sagittariuses. I'm not gonna say I don't like Sagittarius men because like I meet them, they're fine. I think like I get along with them enough, but like yeah, right. Oh, you are too. So it's this super based, right? Yep. I get a lot of mutables on this channel because I'm triple fixed, and I think that they make really good mutable and fixed pairs are very good because there's a certain balance that comes with like mutables ever changing and absolutely fucking thrilling. Um, God damn it! Stop it! Stop it! Chatter. Yeah, yeah, I think that too. Okay, everybody relax. Take a deep breath. It's not about you. It wasn't supposed. I just hate the disruptive. What is it? Who is it? Who is it? Lord Voldemort is that what we're going with? Because same vibe, same look, right? No, I'm kidding. Nobody really looks like. Um, there's just this like insidiously disruptive energy. I could check the demon fucking book and see if there's one that looks like Lord Voldemort. If it's not actually like a human person, that might be getting in my energy flow. Um, but I just, oh god, it's so yes annoying. Um, but anyways, we weren't really talking about anything in particular. What I would like to ask all of you is if you would like to punch out some ads. It also has a battery where if I play an ad, I have to wait so many minutes before I can play another set of ads. But the advantage of getting them all out of the way quickly would be that we get like an uninterrupted hour on the stream of, you know, kind of doing tarot. If we move into tarot, I mean, we've been chatting for a couple hours, and I feel like I'm saying inspiring things about and to and for myself, and I'm feeling like we could do the cosmic deck of initiation as a very similar conversation, but more geared towards you, less preachy or more involved. The angels, channel messages from the angels. So like biblically accurate angels, not archangels. It's not what you think it is. They're mandala cards. So that's fair. All I care about is sun sign. I really don't even really care about birthdays. So I know that was for him and not me, but that's why I'm like, yeah, no, could care less. Not care less, but I totally respect that. So yeah, I'm gonna punch out more ads, maybe grab a little snack, make sure that I eat something before we get too deep into the channeling or the messages, and um, we'll get to our hour of uninterrupted stream time. So bear with me through these next 3 minutes because the tarot coming up. Once again, I do not do personal reading. I just don't. That makes no sense to me why I would divert all of my time and attention to one singular person when people actually came here to hear what I have to say, but also are sharing the time they have with me by tuning in and listening to collective energy, which would apply to all of us and not just one individual. So, other things to note when you see this pink screen and it's like the wide view of all the art and cool things in the room, that's when you know I'm just chatting, fucking around. You can ask me questions right now. Once the box is like this little green one and the chat moves to the other side, you'll know that I'm in tarot mode. So you just be quiet. This way we stop talking so much and you can say things relevant to the reading, but that's it. And it doesn't have to really get personal. We don't need to trauma dump. We don't need to fucking. I'm very chill right now. As excitable and all over the place and high charged I am. I'm very chill right now. And I'm being as friendly as possible, while also still consistently annoyed that people constantly come on here and ask the same question about, oh, I'm gonna get a reading, blah, 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 da, 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 da. Um, Should I note that I was drinking alcohol earlier? Is that also we're like, oh, it's the Sag moon. Like I was I was drinking alcohol. It wasn't a lot. But I feel like the more I'm regulating, the more I'm like, oh, was I just like tipsy? Like, oh, brethren, I can be so dumb sometimes. I just forgot because I was just, partaking in camaraderie. It's very easy to do, partake in camaraderie. So, yes, I was drinking alcohol. I forgot about that. Who else is in the room? Cheers. I'm not anymore. This is water. Drink some fucking water. It's a combination of all of it. Would I even be drinking if this moon wasn't in Sagittarius? So, let's roll these pre rolls, or I mean, the non pre rolls. Let's get an hour of no pre-rolled ads. It's literally two on the ad timer. Okay, so I'll be back in 3 minutes. Get some water. Go to the bathroom. Grab a snack. Do what you gotta do. Maybe a paper and pen. Okay, because sometimes something might seem irrelevant in the moment. Listen, write it down. Okay, come back to it tomorrow with a fresh mind, with a clear head. Ask someone else about it. If you think there's a message that you should write down but you don't understand it, do that. If there's a message you think is yours, take note of it, okay? I don't know why I've been called to like tell people to be getting pen and paper. It was like one night we were doing the pendulums, and so I was like, yeah, write it down so you can focus it. And then we didn't even hardly do anything with that. But now I just like remind people before we get started. So do what you need to do. We got 3 minutes. All right. And then I will chat a little bit if it's, if I need to. So I'll be right back. Tarot on the way. Cosmic Deck of Initiation coming up with them fucking angels, baby. Okay, so we'll be back in a minute. Well, free. Five. Okay, so basically, we're gonna let the little ad battery recharge. We're gonna roll like 1 minute ad, and then I'll have an uninterrupted hour. We're not quite at the hour mark, but 1 minute ad should do the trick. Rather than three. How's everybody doing? So let's give I'll have to run down. See how much more calm I am and centered I am when I'm about to work. But for the last 2 hours, I literally was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get on here. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna just be exactly who I was in public as I am in the public eye. Because if someone were to find out, like you watch my stream, and if I just acted like this all spiritual being, know it all bitch all the time, instead of like an unhinged, kind of weird, nerdy guy, then, you'd find out that I was some kind of unhinged, somewhat violent, and somewhat unappealing person, rather than me trying to convince you or make you perceive me as some unflawed, unattainable, untouchable being. Okay. That's like part of the reason that I am one, radically honest, and two, very just kind of like go with it because I might say things I regret, but I don't watch these. Other people do. That's fair. And maybe I should be more self conscious, but if I was, it would just be too many days in my month. I spend being self conscious. So, um, there's a lot of really funny things that happened today, and I'm really like glad for that. I'm very happy. And um there was so many things that were so unexpected to me. And like just very charming, very funny, very just a different kind of day that I had. And maybe alcohol doesn't do well for my intuition as much as like smoking. Personally, I think that's just what I need to learn with myself. Um, but again, camaraderie. It makes people feel like I'm so human and relatable if I will have a drink with them. But then I start drinking and I literally immediately am like, so who's the dead loved one that's carrying around with you? And they're like, what? And I'm like, would you rather talk about the aliens that are settled in next door? And they're like, oh my God, you're like this all the time, aren't you? Like not just an act or character or phase. Like, who are you really? And I'm like, no, I really spent like a lot of my time thinking about this since I was very young. That's good. Are you talking about my physical appearance? Because this isn't typically what I look like. Lack of better explanation. Um, but yeah, a little unhinged, you know. Um, yeah. Cognition. So that would be like the cognitive part of your brain. So cognition is like movements and coordination, or okay, okay. I don't really know what that means. I think, okay, let me put it in context. On the stream, when I talk about that stuff, it's totally on brand and on point because it's the tarot category and we expect that because my name is Illuminati Miss Stacks. But imagine me at the grocery store being the same way because that's like it's like not unconsciously screaming and whispering about everything she brings. I love that song so much. I love the whole album so much. There's just some things you love more than other things, even if you really don't want to or don't know why. And it's like it could be a past life, it could be a lesson, it could be like a fucking unhealed wound or some shit, or it could just be destined, or it could be completely delusioned. But you know what? I totally forgot I wanted to make a cover song today. Damn. I was gonna pair it with one that I already made and released and was like, meh, let's not release that. And then I listened to it again. I was like, it's not that bad. It really wasn't that bad. It was spooky. I liked that. And so I was like, that wasn't even my favorite song. Why don't I pick one that I actually really like off that album? eat without all of it. That's like I forgot to make the song. Damn, I was gonna do it probably today. Oh well. Oh fuck it. My voice is so shot anyways. But maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the take. Maybe that's the real. Because I've been screaming all day or whatever. Drinking alcohol, but not smoking cigarettes. Good for me. Let's play the ad. I think I'm gonna take 3 minutes. I'm gonna do some jumping jacks or something. I'm having hard. I'm still having a hard time focusing. I also don't want to wear this, but I'm not really warm enough to not have it on. So we'll see what I come up with. I'll be back in 3 minutes and we'll do tarot. We'll have an uninterrupted hour. No ads. The Cosmic Deck of Initiation. It's gonna be so wicked awesome and inspiring. You're gonna love it. No, I don't do personal readings. I wish I didn't have to say that repeatedly, but I think it would be so tacky to have to put it in print right here. So literally 3 minutes to gather your shit, light your incense, pack your bowls. Because, yes, we do fucking smoke weed on this channel because it's legal where I live. And Twitch said as long as it's legal for you to do, it's legal for us to let you do it. Space, yes. Space, yes. Is that your new fuck yeah? Space, yes. I love it. Is that like a blessed bee? Fuck yeah, combined. Space, yes. It's a space, yes. It's like such an astronomical yes that it's a space, yes. What is that? I love space. Fuck yeah, I love space too. Yeah, I said I might redesign this. All right, so tarot coming up quick. Love you all so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. You're back. That probably happens way more. Look at this. Now this is our tarot screen. Here we are. I really want to take the sweater off me free, but I am way too cold as it turns out. Trying to stretch a little bit. It's like getting my body back, you know. It's ineffective for like 2 straight fucking weeks, which is dangerous and then inefficient. So it's very exciting to feel like energized, no matter how tired. In so many ways, like could not explain any better than that, and wouldn't even try. Needless to say, like we are not doing the fucking mystery deck tonight. Like I thought maybe we would handle that, but no. So, close. Trinities, Taurus. Yeah. So, you know, my perception of black holes stems quite a bit from this deck, actually. So it's kind of odd that you would even bring that up, I think. And it would also do to note, I barely shuffled this deck. This is the deck I had on New Year's Eve. My opinion on New Year's is that it starts with Aries season and ends with Pisces season, and so 2022 is still closing out, as we're only in Aquarius season and still have another month to go. But I still like to celebrate the calendar year with everyone else because I still people. Because I still people. Um, People really like make me want to feel bad about myself. Want me to feel bad about myself. Make me want to. Don't make me want to feel bad about myself, and yet I don't. Weird, right? Okay, so um, okay, um, yeah, barely shuffled this deck and all the cards came out, and I don't think I've used it since New Year's. It was like that first week of the new year, new calendar year. For Gregor, it's Gregor here. See, Gregor's calendar. Okay, it's what we do in the shadows, rapping. To whatever the fuck calendar we're on. But these cards didn't need to be shuffled all very much whatsoever. Golden rule. There's no crying in baseball. Okay, so if you want to be a player, you don't get to have tears. There's no crying in baseball. So if you want to be a player, you get no tears. About that. That's the golden rule of the day. That's what the angels say. Okay? Good. Universal healing. It's just fucking time. It's nobody else's problem that you decided to be an unhealed fucking weirdo, right? And then like get mad that other people are healing or healed or able to heal themselves or healers at all. Or believe in things that you've never perceived to believe in. Why does this feel so angry and animosity? Is that me? Or is that me being fucking sick and tired of people wanting the same messages over and over again and for me to be softer and kinder when I already have been? And that blew up in my face. And they expect me to come back soft and kind to be what? Blown up in my face again? Yeah, fucking right. Initiation time. Sometimes you gotta toughen it out and you gotta good luck and you gotta get on with it and you gotta go. You gotta get on. You gotta do it. You gotta go. Initiation. It's now. The thing is, it's not now or never. Once you become initiated into something, it's inevitable. It's whether or not you resist it, it's whether or not you go with it, it's whether or not you choose it. Because once it has been decided, there is no more choosing. There's already been an initiation. That's where y'all got fucked up. You have no idea. You already signed up. You already signed the contract. You already agreed to this. Like, if whether it was so long ago in this lifetime, whatever, and that's how you end up, in accidents. It's end up mindless. It's something to ground you back to your path, something to scare you into living the life you want. It seems like such a square one conversation. Why are we still having it? Yes, people will kill just so their team wins. That is literally so on. Good. I'm really happy to hear that about your cat, by the way. I do feel like familiars come to us more casually than people believe they do. And I also do think that the aliens use space cats to fucking have eyes on us, and that's why they got those weird pupils with the third lids. Yeah. No, I'm one of those people. 100%, like all the time. Like, I would just share that information with a complete stranger. And it's not even like there's some kind of ulterior motive of like wanting to see a reaction. It's just like genuinely always looking to talk to people about weird stuff, right? So, oddly enough, you brought up black holes, and um, once again, this deck taught me a lot about what I think about that. Um, but Cancer, so I don't know if any of you are a Cancer or have a major Cancer placement, or it could be something about Cancer season. It doesn't really matter. Usually these cards go on the timeline and it's less about individuals, but if you are a Cancer and you're watching this right now or have a major Cancer placement like a moon or Venus or something like that, then you would definitely be resonant with it. Yeah, yeah, right. Because they want a good view. They're spying on you, right? Commitment though is at the top of the deck or the bottom of the deck, really. Bottom of the deck. I keep calling it the top of the deck because I flip it upward. It's technically the bottom, I suppose. Commitment. It's time to make a commitment. It's time to commit to yourself, though. It's not about, here's the thing people are like, oh, I'm so afraid of commitment. But it's very rare that people are afraid of commitment. I can see it in some people. I see it in myself. I'm very much like, it's far from being a fear, but I am very hesitant to commit things for sure. And I'm very much not even one foot out the door. I'm just like, in the doorway entirely or just like at the foyer, just kind of, okay, yeah, this is nice. I'm gonna go always, like for whatever reason. Um, because committing to something can be so serious, but it is always ironic when people will commit to so much and then try to say, oh, I have a fear of commitment. It's like, well, you already committed to a career, you already committed to a marriage, you already committed to a child, you already committed to pet, you already committed to all these long lasting, long time things, but then you refuse to commit to yourself or commit to what you really want or to commit to what your heart's desire. It's like, is it a fear of commitment or is it this, that, the other thing? The commitment is at the root of it, where it's time to commit to yourself and commit to the things that you want or what you want to do. You know what I mean? It's like the inner vision right here. What's your inner vision and why is it inner? What is stopping you from your inner vision becoming your outer vision? What's in the way? Because that's what needs to be addressed. It's not addressing the inner vision, it's addressing the things that are standing in the way of your inner vision. That's really, and if it's something like if you even if it's I don't know, law of transmutation. So it's like a transference of energy. It's like nothing is ever really truly destroyed. It is only ever reformed, right? That's sort of the idea. Um, for sure. That's great advice. Great advice. Love that. Oh, absolutely. On cats, by the way, yes, when the cam is turned off, they act normal. Hell yeah. That's why there's projections on the wall. There's fucking hell yeah, people don't even realize what the fuck goes on right in front of their face, and then they're worried about Starship balloon space. And I'm like, dude, if these are flying over the Great Lakes because they're trying to intimidate me, it's working. But also come get me then, bro. What the fuck? I'm just chilling anyways. This is just gonna be who I am. So what are we gonna do about it? Do the dance. You're gonna risk getting a fucking extra long sentence in the fiery pits of a torturous hell just for my head? I would think twice about that. What are they gonna do? Um, that's okay. Okay. So yeah, I agree. I feel like we'd have less problems in the world that they created for us. But, anyways, law of transmutation, nothing can ever really truly be destroyed, it's only ever reformed. Matter becomes energy or becomes extra matter or etc. However, whatever take on science that you have. That's more or less the law of transmutation. So if there is a feeling that ever exists, it may be exchanged into something else or transferred to someone else because that is the power of transmutation within or without. Between another person or within yourself. Okay. Foundation. It's about building a strong foundation, putting down the groundwork, and having realized that maybe some of the groundwork is already down. Virgo, right here. I don't know if any of you are Virgo. And inner vision's popping out again. And that's a guardian angel underneath Virgo and inner vision showing us under foundation. It's two piles now where it's like, I'm glad. Um, it's like that's okay. You choose the life that you want. You choose the life that you have. You choose the things that are in front of you or what you believe is best for you. And that's all you can do, and that's okay. Especially, I'm sure that if your life lesson is to have to reject something, then it is inevitably something that can handle rejection. Okay. So there may be foundations that need to be deconstructed if you do not wish to build on them. And yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Um, because this meticulousness is the guardian. Okay. Yeah. And it's joyful and it's happy and it's great and it's beautiful. And that's lovely. Law of limitation. Universal love. Libra. Duality. This one's a favorite of mine. Law of compensation. I know. I know. Because it takes you down your own spirals. They're very cool. They're cool to shuffle. They're cool to deal. They're cool to disc out. I love them. They were a gift from one of my favorite Capricorns of all time. And yep, law of compensation. That's a good one. It's definitely a reminder. Rihanna moment. Pay me what you owe me. Don't act like you forgot. Bitch, better have my money. Because you don't have to physically take anything, and you don't have to directly steal something to understand that maybe you did use someone to an extent where potentially you do owe them on some level the compensation that not only they deserve but that they earned. And that is where it's tricky, right? It's not as simple as a kind rejection, no thank you. That's not really what this was about. 22244 then 8. Okay, so you get what I'm saying, right? That's a very sweet thought of, oh, but I'm so happy and I'm so in love and I'm so content with my life as it is right now. But oh, I'm sorry, you built a foundation for something already that you were kind of already started manifesting. Inner vision. You may walk away as you please, but reminder, a reminder, it would take a miracle to stay away from these things, because they were your inner vision and it is the law of continuity. What is started must be finished. Who do you owe money? It doesn't have to be Aquarius and Healer Within, because who does the healing? Universal harmony. And karma comes back and comes back stronger. Law of transmutation. I I am asking. This is what I've been saying. Amen. 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 You do not, yes, and you can't record over it either. And that's the irony, is that things are going to play out the way they need to play out regardless of how they play out. And that's what's so funny, is people would literally look, foundation again. There is something you fucking started, right? And it needs to be finished or you'll never come into the next season. And honestly, the thing is, like, as harsh as this sounds for some people, I shuffled so much and I'm seeing commitment again, law of transmutation again, inner vision again. What seems to be so fucking hard for people is, one, the satisfaction of having an inner vision at all, where as long as you can see it, you essentially experienced it, therefore you lived it, and it satiates the need to actually do it. Okay, fair. Um, But to see these things in order to have true harmony in within the world and not just within yourself or your life, because it's very selfish to think that anything and everything will ever be about just you when it absolutely isn't. We say make a commitment to yourself in the beginning of this reading only to come around to say, hey, not everything is going to be about you. Doesn't that sound contradictory? Doesn't that sound confusing? But what that really means when you focus on it or break it down or digest it in the way that it's meant to be digested is that, okay, there is, oh my God, um, so much always going on that nothing can ever be about any one thing. So I'm seeing laughter. Laugh it off. Laugh it off. That's laugh. I'm not gonna laugh. I'm fucking punny. The thing is, once more, not to sound harsh, but this is once again like, if you fail to heed these warnings that the universe will send you, guide you, and give you, then you do end up getting screwed and screwing yourself and having Fallout Tower moments and being unable to recover and not knowing how to bounce back. That's not to say anybody going through something is gonna just inherently get destroyed, because sometimes it's not as easy as seeing it for what it is. Um, that's that's like showing our age, right? I thought this was one of our youngins too, but I could be confusing him with somebody else. I've had so many people chatting with me on these nights, but um, when you the VHS tape, though, I mean, really going back to the VHS tape, right? It's the movie's gonna play out regardless of whether or not the actors want to show up, of whether or not somebody thinks the script should be changed, whether or not you hit play, whether or not you get to the end, the tape is still there, and so everybody knows, and it's already documented. And now they've given me the power to access the Akashic records. Jesus fuck, man, people can continue to doubt me, but I have been doing this for 25 years. I say 10 because that's when I picked up a deck of tarot. But once more, that Catholic schoolgirl, it's necromancy, bro. So I have been doing this for 25 years, and I wish people would give it up that I am not the one when I clearly so am one. What does that mean? Well, interpret it as you will. Be your own one. Be your own inner vision. It's time to start living it. It's time to be on the outside. It's time to go within just to become without once more. Again and again and again and again and again. Even if it's constantly changing, even if it's evolving, even if it's not what you think it is, even if it's different than what you thought it might be, or how it would feel, or whatever. Universal forgiveness. If you have the capacity to forgive others, this is what I always tell people when I see this card of universal forgiveness. This is the reminder that as long as you have the capacity to forgive others, you therein have the capacity to forgive yourself. You are willing to forgive others, you become worthy of forgiveness. Okay? Guardian angel, universal compassion, Pisces. About to be Pisces season. Got like another week. And it's the end of the year, and it's the end of the everything. It's the end of the hard times. It's the end of the good look. It's the end of the whole era of the last 10 years. But there is a guardian angel present that guides everything that you do, in a sense, for any of us. And that's not specific. Well, it is specific, but it's you know meant to be heard. Duality, right? It's a balance. And laughter. Learn to laugh more and laugh about things that hurt. I think my biggest secret and survival mechanism is laughing when things hurt. Um, because hurting myself more, yikes, it's a slippery slope, when I'm in pain, if I just like physically hurt myself more than the pain that I'm already hurting in, then it'll equate to no pain. And it's kind of true, but like also not good. Laughter, on the other hand, can be just as painful as Fight Club. And if you can really get that rip roaring belliness, law of karma, if you cannot learn to laugh, then you shall not tell jokes. And if those jokes aren't about yourself, then you shall see the worst in everyone else. That's probably, yeah. Have you ever seen the Page Master? That's literally me, Lolly the Page Master at gmail.com. Okay, like literally, yes, queen. Actually, exactly, yeah. That's like so legit. Oh, I got chills thinking about it. I got chills, really big chills, like really beautiful, like beautiful. Yes. I just tasted rain. I just smelled that place that night in that movie, but it was real life and it was for you. You had someone in your life who actually had a library in their house. And I'm not saying it was a full blown library, it was like a study room. And it wasn't somewhere you went often, but you went as a kid and you were in there and you weren't really not necessarily supposed to be. You were like permitted to go in there a few times, but it was like a full blown library of a room. And there was a view, but this day, I don't know if it was actually nighttime, and that's why you were there because you were spending the night. And um, it was raining, and I tasted that moment just now, like the taste of damp books and the smell of rain and the feeling of being awake at night. That's what I just tasted. That's the kind of thing that I do, I think. What do you mean? I'm not talking about. It's a huge library in the Page Master movie. Capricorn, laughter. So I'm guessing if you're a Capricorn and you're watching this, that Bible, Bible, that library memory was yours. Law of limitation, um, universal truth. It will set you free. Truth is, we out here. No, but really, like, yeah, laugh. It's laughter, 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 laughter. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. This card on top of these other cards is face down, so there's a major blockage to whatever is going on. We have two side cards. One is face up, one's face down. They're not touching. There's three piles of cards. It looks like three, four, five. Could we be so lucky? No, three, four, four cards, and then like the one that was on top of each, like all three piles, it's face down. So we're looking at a full plate. We're looking at these three. Think of these three piles each as like the dishes that life is providing you. Okay, so we're like looking at a good thing. We've got trays, we've got all this going for us, like different individual aspects of life coming into bloom, coming into fruition because it's about to be spring, I guess, right? But this one card on top that's face down would indicate one, something that has yet to come to surface, and two, something that is blocking this experience or these things from coming. So, what is it? It's evolution. It's simply personal growth. It's simply that you have yet to come to the point where you're evolved enough to accept what really goes on or to see things as they really are or to truly open your third eye, right? Somebody brought up third eye to me. They're like, how did you get it so open? I'm like, I don't know. I almost died. It's far from something I would recommend from anybody. I make a ritualistic blood sacrifice every month, aka have the most intense periods that would fucking literally make you kill yourself. But because I'm so strong as one of God's greatest warriors, because that's what y'all said. Toughest challenges, yeah, that shit is a motherfucking challenge. Okay, and there's like ways out of it, but none of them work for a reason. Okay, sometimes you just have to do what you gotta do. Probably the most Catholic one, if we're being honest. But I really identify with the neon space monster. That's my god. You But I fuck with all sorts of entities, and I respect everybody's beliefs, and I think Hindus probably are the most accurate or correct in the history of anything that would have happened. I feel like Hindus kind of like were the ones, and then everybody else was just like, well, I was thinking it could be this, and it's like, sure, you can totally think that, and like, whatever. Hinduism seems like they just nailed it the first time almost, like I don't know. That's funny because I've never really studied it, but the more we practice and the more we converse and the more that we discuss theology, especially on this channel, it does seem like there's a reason that is the oldest and most popular to this day religion because it does kind of make the most sense, you know? There's like other factors to it, of course, because it's like the high populations in areas in which that thing. But just even regardless of that, that's also why so many deities from that religion become figureheads for so many other things that are completely irrelevant to Hinduism. Hinduism, isn't it or I mean, maybe Christianity, but I thought like in the world, like the most popular religion was Hindu. Am I wrong? Like populace, like not popular like cool, but populace, populate like most. Oh, it's not. It's definitely low in the well, it's mid. It's mid. It's in the top four. So it is still Christianity, but that's probably because half the earth was colonized. And Islam is next, which I did not realize. And then the very vague ill religion. So I think that's like a way of saying atheism or no belief. And then Hinduism is technically like the third religion on the list. So it's in the top three most popular, which is impressive because it's the oldest. It has stayed the most consistently relevant over time. Whereas Christianity and even Islam are looking at these booms, right, of popularity because they're pretty fresh, like within the last 2000 years religions. But then you see stuff like Sikhism, which is like, I think, pre Islamic beliefs of similar nature, right? Like there's this Sikhs and the something else. I'm ignorant to this, I don't know. And Judaism is actually at the bottom of the list. but Judaism is one of the oldest religions on this list besides Hinduism. So I just think it's actually interesting to see that, yeah, it is consistently popular. Consistently popular. There's tons of gods. This is just very basic. I think it's like people who identify with religions would be accounted for, whereas a lot of people who just vaguely believe in gods wouldn't really have a religion to ascribe to or would fall under irreligion, like the irreligion or whatnot. So, anyways, personal evolution and literal growth is what's stopping you from having everything that you want, kind of success. But it's like you're too immature to let it go, or too unwilling to grow or change to be able to accept or accommodate to what it is that you want and that you're trying to actively get. You have yet to actually earn it or deserve it because you haven't had the personal growth or evolution to truly understand it. Okay. Um, How one, law of frequency. I mean, needless to say, like, right. Law of frequency. Okay. You emit a frequency, you receive a frequency. Maybe your frequency is a bit low, so you get someone who's really high because you need to balance out each other's frequencies, right? And maybe once they're balanced, it's like, okay, that's fine. And maybe sometimes you hear someone who has the same frequency as you rather than someone who's going to complete you. Okay, it's the law of frequency. That's it. Like that sounds so simple. It is kind of simple. That's the whole thing that trips me up about people in regards to like their emotions and how much people mask their emotions and are afraid to express themselves and how we got into an entire culture of people like doing these things. Like um but uh, it's so much more simple than people make it out to be because there are people who are just like insidious about the way other people feel and just want to like terrorize them, but it makes other people give it up quickly and be scared. That's cute. The joke is really funny. No, not necessarily. It's just that maybe you're on a frequency and you haven't really turned it up loud enough for anyone to hear it. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to adjust your frequency. Maybe there's like so many things it could be, but law of frequency, evolution, cancer. This is the wrong pile. This is the pile. Law of attraction. So it's like you have to also know what you want to receive. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm so sick of people rejecting me. I don't want any more rejection. I'm sick of getting my heart broken. I don't want any more heartbreak, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, we don't really know what to give you then because you said you didn't want it, but you kept talking about it. So we kind of thought that's what you wanted. So we like brought it for you because you wouldn't stop saying it. So here you are. Here you go. And it's like, okay, cool. But like, okay, um, you have to know what you are attracting. I want to fall in love. I want to experience trust. I want to have loyalty. I want to know my match. I want to know myself well enough to understand another person. Blah, 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 blah. But what are you attracting? No. So it's not only your frequency, but in tandem with, bringing things towards you with intent. Okay. And universal wisdom. It's not always about exactly, exactly. Um, it's not always about knowing, sometimes it's about understanding. Knowing is half the battle, understanding, comprehending, processing, growing, and using it is another. But that's wisdom. That's what wisdom truly is when you take knowledge and interpret it for yourself. That's the difference between being smart and being intelligent, right? You can be really smart and fucking know a lot of things and how to do things and remember things, but your intelligence is how you apply those things, right? Because if you don't, then like, oh yeah, you're really smart. Can it do? You know, like having a Snapple cap for a brain. Sure, I like know a lot of stuff. Is it useful? Not really, because I never apply it. That's evolution, though, is realizing. I mean, people still say I'm wise, but the Snapple cap thing is just like sapre, right? Giver of light. Yeah, there's so many reasons the school system sucks ass. Scout. And people really underestimate me. They really think that I, like, for whatever reason, would be, like, less than radical enough to be on some kind of watch list for things that I did and said, like, 10 years ago that actually did sort of influence, change, or shape society as we know it today, but in a way that was very quiet because it was very much orchestrated by the few people who did read it, and rather than it actually being consumed by the masses, that's that's yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Thought math was the problem. Math was not the problem. Why did y'all change math? I don't know why I brought it up. I'm so sorry. I still regret that. Or prophecy, like Nostradamus. Yep. Yep. So yeah, people severely underestimate me, but also like I mean, there's just very little anybody's gonna do because they're like, damn, you really are kind of cute, you are kind of sweet, you are kind of even almost naive, but really it isn't thing. It's like I know better, but sometimes I do like to just take the fucking chance and hope or gamble that people are gonna do me right again, or be right to themselves, or like choose better and do it, you know. Like, is it naive to fall for somebody's shit? Or is it just me being a trusting person and assuming that I'm going to interact with trustworthy people and then having to face the test of, can I still be trustworthy even if others can't be trusted? And that answer has to continue to be yes, at least for me. Knowing not to trust people and the wisdom to do it anyways. Okay. Okay. Sometimes all you got is cry check. Sometimes all you got is cry check. And then what are you gonna do? Right? You gotta rely on them. You know you can't really. But who's always there in the clutch? Who's always gonna be honest about their intentions? Who you know is always gonna screw you over? It's cry check. Spoiler alert. At least I didn't say what show it is. So next pile we have universal spirituality. Okay. That's cool. That's kind of why we're all here gathered here right now together, is universal spirituality. I'm a spiritual practitioner. Y'all are on a spiritual journey. My spiritual journey will never end, even as a practitioner, because I just said 20 minutes ago, whatever, um, that they gave me access to the Akashic records because I have continued my spiritual journey, and because I have gone down that road, and because I do the work. So it continues to evolve, even though one might perceive me as already evolved. I'm constantly evolving. That's why evolution is such a big block. It's because people think that we are at the pinnacle of human race. Hello, how much have we evolved? Do you think we're just going to stay the same species? That's kind of a weird thought. Uncomfortable. Like, that's not really how this works. We're gonna continue to evolve if we keep breeding. That's why it's very important to know what the fuck you're doing when you breed someone or breed with someone. Fuck. Universal spirituality. Oh, wait, this is going the wrong way again. Sower of seeds. You asked for this inherently in some way, shape, or form. And guess what card is next, Sagittarius, just for the personal call out? Things might seem hard. Things, right, you being negative, Nance. Things might seem hard. Things might seem difficult. Things might seem lonely. Things might seem like it's not worth it. But you know what you asked for? You asked for this universal spirituality. You wanted the understanding. You wanted to sow these seeds and become righteous. And then guess what? It meant being right got quiet. Once you figure it out, you leave again. And it's a tiring life. It's a tiring life to understand that you're going through lessons. Because people who repeat the same lessons at least keep the same life. And that's part of what makes these things so hard. Is if you are learning lessons and you're completely conscious of it, you don't just end up pregnant with a kid to teach you all the things you missed in life. And if you decide to switch it up, you don't become indebted to any singular person, or you don't get into relationships you never can remove yourself from. If you understand that none of it was supposed to be permanent in the first place, and you truly grasp that there are cycles and there are patterns and there are things that you have to do and complete in order to not only level up, but just continue to succeed or continue to fucking coast in life. And the people who keep repeating their cycles, yes, their life probably is a little more constant and it is a little more consistent, but bet all hell it's more dramatic because they. So just it's never anything to envy. That's for sure. There really never nothing to envy. Last pile, we got threshold. Really, really on the threshold of something like really close to breaking through to this other side and finding universal balance, right? Within yourself, within others, within the world around you, within the universe, whichever feels comfortable for you to say that you are coming in harmony with things and finding a balance again. And, oh my goodness, what a beautiful thing. And then we have Trinity. Okay. So you brought up black holes, and what I've learned about black holes was what I've gathered from staring at them. And that sounds crazy because at the time I did think I was crazy. I would see people and their faces would transform, and I would see these black holes, and it was very void. I was like, what's going on? But in retrospect, I see that I was in a phase of black holes because black holes suck the life out of things. They destroy things. They take. So when you come across a black hole in your life, whether you see it or feel it or are in the energy of something that is a void, there is this kind of need to purge or release. Whatever you put into that black hole is what is leaving. Okay, so if you're in a black hole phase of life, you're gonna see like it's gonna be like a tower moment, everything's falling apart, and you're like, oh my god, oh fuck, this is horrible. Because it's all getting sent into that black hole and never coming back, only to be transformed into something else in another reality. You're purging the negatives. So, what's the opposite of a black hole? A fucking trinity, a trinity spot. Okay, this is literally what I learned from using these cards, where like I already had my theories on the black hole, but then I saw this Trinity card and it stuck out to me. And one day I was in the backyard and I was looking at the sky and I saw this spot and I was like, oh, this is a Trinity. It's a Trinity. It's a period of manifestation. It's because, in the same way that a black hole will void out and destroy stuff, so if you're like really putting all your positive energy into a black hole, it's going to destroy all your positive energy and leave you restless, useless, used up, feeling horrible. But if you send that voidness, that negativity back to that black hole energy, it'll all just kind of go away in that theory. Okay. So the Trinity spots are about creating. Anything you put into a Trinity spot comes back tenfold. That's why you have to be very careful who you talk to, or who you are spending time with, or how you speak, when you speak, and who you speak to. Okay. Because But yeah, you're coming into a Trinity spot, so everything that you say is very important, that it's positive and it's things that you want to explode and grow in your life and bloom in the springtime. Because look, we got Taurus. That's me, but that's also the second season of the calendar zodiac year. The zodiac year, not the calendar year. And then next to the pile, we have the two solo cards, one face up and one face down. So we'll see what's on the surface right now, and then what else needs to be on the surface with it. We've got Universal Wisdom again, Law of Continuity and Taurus, as well as Golden Rule. It's the Golden Rule, yeah. I'm everybody's slave, made you my slave. You said this I do for you. And if you wonder what I would do anything if I could. You know I would. I was leaning into my best Perry Farrell impression because my voice is already so shot. I would for you. That's like, they say Golden Rule in that song. I would for you. Oh my god, it's Foundation. This was sitting on the table the whole time. You already built the foundation. You've already built the foundation. That is the thing. You already built the foundation. Whether or not you do anything with it is questionable, but whether or not you are going to enjoy your life because you decided to build something and walk away, build it and they will come. They show up, you leave. That's not really the thing. That's bonkers. Okay, so what's the face down? What needs to come up? The law of transmutation. Time to build something else then. Turn it into what you want it to be then. Good luck. Time to switch it up. Time to do something different. And that's just inevitably what is going to happen. Because if you try to do it in a way that involves no one else and nothing else and is not in tandem with the universe and going against the grains in which your winds of shifting change are blowing you, that is going to backfire. That is where karmic ritual. That is it. Universal spirituality. Law of limitation. Free spirit. Aries. Aries season. Pisces season. Pisces season is going to be lots of celebrating, lots of fucking around, lots of law limitation underneath that. Law of life. There may be limitations to what you can and cannot do. There may be limitations on what you can have and cannot have. There's two face down cards. We will get to that. But by all means, despite these laws of limitation or transmutation or wisdom, or that was universal, wasn't it? It's law of compensation, all these laws, there is still the law of life. And the law of life is that you have to live it. That's it. Law of life, you have to live it. Because it doesn't live through you, you live through it. You live through life. And if you go through it just kind of watching or sitting on the sidelines, you get to the end and you feel prepared to finally go in, then you can start over and do it all again. But are you really learning your lessons if you fail to bring yourself to live in the moment and live in your daily existence as wholly or freely as a happy person, allowing yourself the small joys and to not let anyone knock you down and not let anyone shit on your beliefs and not let anyone deter you from doing the weird things that you. The only law of life is that you have to live it. So what are these two major blockages at the end here? Virgo. Shocker. And universal healing. Oh, I'm not okay. Cool. Very kudos, congratulations on your choices. Universal spirituality. This deck was good. I'm starting to get a headache. Starting to get a headache right now. Universal spirituality again. I live before I leave. I love margins and disciplines. I make lists in my sleep, baby. What's my sin? Never quit. I follow through. Hate miss, but I love you. What to do? My info to baby. Threshold and universal balance. Cancer. Sower of seeds. Thank you for the follow, Daddy. Is that what you were going for? Is it you just want people to say that? You there you are. We're cloud busting, Daddy. Why did Kate Bush do that? I'm gonna ask that every single fucking day. Are you a Leo? Because the Leo card just came out, and there's always Leos on my channel, especially when I use this deck, and there hasn't been any tonight, so it'd be pretty crazy if you were. Damn. Damn. What are you? We like to know names, pronouns, or sun signs pronouns. I'm a Taurus. Are you a Taurus? Oh, you're an Aquarius. Okay, so you're a fixed sign. That makes sense. Yeah. Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Scorpio are the fixed signs, and this deck is big on the fixed signs. So I'm not even surprised. And also, happy birthday, right? Giver of light. Happy birthday. Trinity, universal healing, universal harmony, free spirit. Yeah. It's time to create. We're in a creative period. We're going to, nice. We're going into the new moon. This is a great time to manifest, great time to decide what you do want. Full moons are a great time to purge. A lot of people try to manifest and do rituals during the full moon without realizing what the fuck the full moon is for. The full moon is at the end of the cycle. It's for what you're dropping. It's for letting go. Gemini, any Geminis in the room? Any Geminis in the room? We're big fans of Geminis. We love our wholesome, sweet, angelic Sour Patch Kids. Okay, Unity, Scorpio, any Scorpio, fixed signs, fixed energy. I don't know. Why does this sound, why do I sound like an auctioneer with these tarot cards? I don't do personal readings, by the way, so refrain from asking, especially if you're new around these parts. Okay. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna put this deck away. I have to roll 420. The pre-rolls have 4 minutes left on the timer, so I'm gonna have to roll some ads. And I'll probably put this deck away because I just literally did a straight hour-long tarot reading. So if you feel got here, I'm so sorry. You should have got here sooner. Well, let's roll the ads. And I don't know how much longer I'll be on here. It's only been 3 hours, but I started hella late. I had a huge day because I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make today fucking. And it was great. It was very magic. Even if I look like a 7th grade skater boy, which actually is so relevant to my day because you'll see. It's like Valentine's Day now, so I'm really excited. Got a lot of stuff that's about to drop today. And I kind of like had no hype about it. I didn't really mention it that much. That's okay. That's okay. A few cards came out as I was saying. I gotta finish this up. 3 minutes. Law of Karma at the bottom of the deck. Universal abundance underneath it. If it's owed to you, it will be paid, whether that person pays it or they pay it in another way. We got laughter once again. Better laughing off. Better than being serious. Universal harmony. Golden rule. What's this golden rule? Speak up, speak the truth. Okay, we got a trinity, creation, law of life. You have to live it. Pisces, once again, go the fuck to bed. Um, law of free will. Okay, everything will change come Pisces season. Um, end of the year, celebrating, all that stuff. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be awesome. I need to roll the ads before the pre rolls come on because the timer makes no sense and it seems to be random. We don't get it. So I'm gonna come back and we're gonna be back in chat mode. And what that means is that we're gonna be on the big the wide view pink box screen. Um because I need a break from the tarot as if I just did this for a straight hour. So be right back. We got 3 minutes. Do your thing. Do what you gotta do. Um, but do it. Capricorn, law of compensation. It's good to be reminded, isn't it? It is what it is. Trust me, you get what you give. Yeah. You gotta come to my side and see how we live. Yeah. I cannot imagine heaven being much better than this. I said heaven. Um, because yeah, I actually hate Drake. Was that Drake? I don't know why I went back to the tarot screen. We wanted to chat because I'm tired as fuck, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. It's late. I've been doing this for well, no, for a good hour and a half. I did nothing but talk, mostly about myself. Kind of questionable, but at the same time, one, human energy is blocking, interfering, and messing with my own fucking magic, intuition, and messages that I normally get. Two, lessons, knowing that people need to hear what I'm saying when they are listening to it, or I wouldn't be doing this job at all, let alone being good at it. Okay, so even on my messy days, even on days where maybe what I'm saying isn't making a whole lot of sense, or it doesn't sound like something I'd usually say, or I'm acting weird, or high energy, or whatever the case is, you'd have to start all the way over at the beginning to understand what I'm saying about that. Um, Regardless, it just feels important or even imperative to be able to share these aspects or side of myself. Because I imagine that as unique as I am, no part of the human experience is ever going to be totally and completely unique. We are all, beyond all just being one, we are all the same person, functionally, with varying degrees of differences, but there's many things about us that is pretty universal, or at least something that's universal to many, if not all, and something you can relate to others in another way, and so on, if that makes sense. So you may have nothing in common with someone except for the fact that you're human, so your basic needs, your basic wants, your basic requirements, or basic habits and routines are all going to be generally the same, right? But I mean, what are you going to do, some things is what it is, right? So how's everybody doing? This is chat mode. Ask me anything, except for if you and when you can get a personal reading, because at that point I'm going to refer to you to my website www.alienmilly.com and tell you to book a personal reading and pay me for my time. You want the individual attention that comes with getting a personal reading. But if you have any other questions, random, for me, personal, otherwise, go ahead and feel free to ask them. I will probably be wrapping it up relatively soon. It's not super late compared to how late I normally stay up, but I did really go for a long walk today. It was a big, long walk because I enjoy the sky and good weather so much. It's winter, but it's starting to feel like spring, and I have to be out there for these things. I fucking love the weather, right? Like I love the weather. I'm like so incredibly grateful for everything all the time because why wouldn't you be, right? Wow, that's not where that I thought that sentence was going at all. Where it was just like, what more would you even need to say at that point? It was other than like, I'm so grateful for everything all the time. And I've always been one of those people who would be like super fucking like devastatingly sad. And like, of course, before I knew I had PMDD, it was a lot harder to explain why I would get so fucking sad, or I thought it was genuinely about other people when in reality it was about my hormone levels, but that's okay. That's okay. Um, there's there's neither here nor there at that point. I just remember, hey, I am having a great time lately. How long have you been here? Because I was making references for you, and I was like, Source would say something now if he was lurking. And then yeah, oh my god, no Source on here, or he's really good at lurking. So I am having a great time lately. It doesn't seem like I am. It doesn't sound like I am, but like I genuinely am. Okay. So did you just need a break from the constant chatter? That's why you were watching YouTube videos? You got a project you're trying to do, or what's up with that? I feel like usually if you're not on here, you're just watching someone else on here. No, YouTube videos. It was a rent reference, by the way. I was singing Joanna Maureen. I look before I leave. I keep going back to that part. Um, so be wise, 'cause this girl's satisfied. You got a prize who don't compromise. You're one lucky baby. Take me for what I am. Who I was meant to be. And if you give a damn, take me, baby. Leave me. Take me, baby, or leave me. Fucking DC's better than Marvel, right? That's like the Joker and shit. No. Yeah. Hey, fuck Batman. It's just another rich fuck working with the police. Sounds like a narc to me. But I like Harley Quinn. She shows human duality and the nature of woman. And I like her. Do I like the Joker? Not necessarily. Can I sympathize? Probably. No idea what I was saying. Honestly, I was so excited to serenade you that it's all out the window at this point. I think I was just bitching, most likely. No idea. It's been very random tonight. It's been a long day. I just like could not explain. Like I am literally just I don't even know what show you're talking about, but I would say yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I'm really concentrated on packing this book right now for some reason. For no reason. For ADHD reasons. I don't know. I probably don't have ADHD. Probably different spectrum. I love doing impressions. Throw one at me. Let's see if I can do it, but make it really like obvious or common because I'm not super into niche. Actually, that's not true. Make it so fucking niche to me that I'll nail it. Either or. Or give me someone to roast. No, I could roast myself though, bitch. It's like not even. Mm, that's the impersonation you want me to do. Okay, first of all, Celine Dion is like extreme, extreme. Because she's like French, but also fucking hilarious and also an Aries. So she's like super funny, hard to understand, and constantly going way too fast. Like that's Celine Dion. Ariana Grande, probably almost genuinely the fucking opposite. Oh, is all I hear when I hear Ariana Grande. It's just like so I don't know if it's because she's a Cancer. I don't know if it's her music. I don't know if it's her voice or her aura, her general look. Um, I can't even. What is Celine Dion's sign? She cannot be. I think she's an air sign. She looks like an air sign. Oh, no, she's an Aries. I just said that. How do I know that? And then I ask, what the fuck? She's an Aries. They're very opposite. So if I had to do, like, if I had to do an Ariana Grande impression, I just think that honestly, like, I don't really know if I could like sing like anybody, and I don't think I've consumed enough of her content to know how accurate of a fucking impression that is. But I do feel like she's always like she's doing the thing where she looks up, and it's probably because she's kind of short, and she has like that high pitched voice, but she like doesn't let it get too out of control. Okay, but then Celine Dion, I can't even do a French accent. I literally was talking to a French person yesterday or 2 days ago, depending on what day it is. I cannot do how would you do French? I like to watch Amelie, but then also I am fucking Celine Dion, and she does this thing where she is like a goofy banana, and she talks about the peanut butter jelly time. Have you seen that video? How do you combine those two things? I have no idea. I guess I would do the Ariana Grande, but in a fake French accent because I don't know how to do a French accent. How's that? I don't know. I don't know. She's so weird. Dude, I loved her as a kid for some reason. Like, I saw Titanic once before it came out in theaters because of somebody so and so at the time. I was like, cool. It was like fucking 3 hours long. I watched like the uncut. I don't even know if I've ever seen the real Titanic because sitting through the first time I ever saw it was so fucking excruciating long that I like don't think I ever watched it again. So I was into Titanic, but really because of the songs. I was like, I was like, that is literally so beautiful. I'm like 9, probably not even. I was probably more like, what year did Titanic come out? 99. So it was like 7, and I'm just like, oh my god, the way this crazy French woman is singing the song. But I didn't know she was a crazy French woman. I was just like into Paula Cole and Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush, and this was my oh my god Celine Dion moment, right? My heart will go on and on. Love Kate Winslet. Love the idea. I just think the whole movie's in my head. Yeah, I mean, I can picture the whole thing. I probably have watched it since that first time, but when you have a photographic memory and there's something that's like as iconic as the Titanic that's referenced a lot, it's like very easy for me to play a movie like that. But no, that's okay. So Celine Dion, I like needed to have her album as a kid. Like Paula Cole, This Fire was the first album I ever owned. It was a gift. I was in second grade, so maybe it was my sixth birthday. Maybe I was in first grade. I don't remember. It was like a big deal because the album art was like, okay, it was questionable, but you really fucking like this cowboy song. You really asked for this like so much. Um, it was like the first adult content that I had. But Celine Dion was like the next album that I wanted was like Celine Dion. And I got it. And the only songs I remember is My Heart Will Go On and Treat Her Like a Lady. And those are like the two most opposite songs where like trying to perceive who Celine Dion is so funny because we do all rely on knowing her from My Heart Will Go On or like her creepy husband, RIP, I guess. But there's this element of surprise because she's an Aries, and I think that if Celine Dion never did, then Lady Gaga absolutely never would. That's on everything, I think. Like, yeah, that's that's true. Train her like a lady, Celine, da-da-da-da, Celine. I don't know what she's thinking. She's. Am I thinking of two different songs? What goes around comes around. Go, go. It's like it's. I think she sings in French for some of it, or I'm confusing it with a different song. You think she's a reptilian? I think she's just an Aries, bro. Isn't that a funny perspective? Maybe she's not speaking another language, but my childhood mind is like I couldn't understand what she was saying. Yeah, so I think she's cool. I think she's cool. I think reptilians are cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a reptilian. I think it's just like not something that people talk about and something that, people have a bad reputation. But of course, here we are not wanting people to perceive us in negative ways or based on stereotypes or like whatever the fuck. And then we do it to them, reptilians or otherwise, like any species, right? Um, that kind of mostly applies to like extraterrestrials or dogs because I think unanimously we have to just have stereotypes for certain species like tigers. Tigers bad, tigers mean, tigers big evil because the second people are like, "Oh, but tiger cute, tiger pet, tiger king." It's like, "Oh, okay, well, now we have a problem." So for some instances we do have to just stick to the script, the stereotype. But for more cognizant or otherwise communicative species, maybe less judgments. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Something along those lines, I would say. So that's like really pretty. It's like really pretty. You're like really pretty. Thank you. Look like a fucking seventh grader who just learned how to skateboard, but I'm fucking gorgeous. Happy Valentine's Day. It wasn't necessarily like the love readings we thought we were gonna get, but if you want love readings, then you can definitely watch the reading from last night. It was oddly personal, but again, the motivation behind the things that are said are really to be there to inspire you or messages for you to hear. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Martha's cool, though, right? She's a Capricorn? Maybe not. I can't remember. Um, Yo, I'll be right back. Give me 3 minutes. Okay, y'all. Listen, this screen looks small. I'm having Alice in Wonderland syndrome probably. So how far back? Happy Valentine's Day. You're all my Valentines now. Um, I'm not hung up. Oh, yawn, yawn, yawn. I'm not caught up. I'm not hung up on the concept though. Happy Valentine's Day though. Though. Sounds like you might be a little bit. Um, any commercial you don't find relatable? Because I feel like there's so many that are trying to relate to our age group that it's ironic, isn't it? Um, commercials can be very current events based. Yes, agreed. Yeah. Hey Dom, how's it going? What are y'all doing? Who are these 10? Okay, 9 people who are on here right now. It's like way midnight morning. It's like so late. Y'all are just tuning in. Who was on here that was like, entertaining y'all so late? And it wasn't me. But also, I don't think you missed much on this stream. It was definitely weird vibes in the beginning, and I think it's just because I've been spending more time with living people, less time with dead people, and let me tell you, I don't fucking like it. I do not fucking like it at all, to be honest. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I love socializing, love meeting people, love talking to people, love strangers, love having friends. Um, but I find that it makes me feel chaotic and overworked and exhausted sometimes, or just like kind of like I don't want to say insecure because I don't think that's the way to describe it, but it's like being put on the defense at all by having to just talk to anyone. It's right. And I just kind of like the company of the dead, as bad as that may sound. That's not necessarily a death wish, though. That's just how I chose to live my life. So, like, I'm just having a whole day. I'm just like having an entire day. And I guess like being yourself is sometimes like not a good thing, and that's what living people constantly remind me of. That dead people always, ironically enough, praise me for, perhaps. Because once you get to the end of it, you're like, damn, I wish I would have just been more myself and been more like, yeah. Oh, I know. It's like so like getting to be those hours, yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Good night. That's me. That's me every time. Very late night stuff. Always these, yeah. It's supposed to be 333. It might be time for me to go. I think I'm too hungry to keep doing this, and I don't want to just keep eating and forcing myself to talk when I just came on here because I said I would be here on this day at this time. We were supposed to do the mystery deck, but we just did the cosmic deck of initiation. I talked a whole bunch. I kind of remember what it was about, but it was also it felt nonsensical. It felt unnecessary to have to say those things, but there's always a reason. There's always a reason that stuff comes out of my mouth, whether it's for you or for someone else, or if it's supposed to apply to anybody or anything, right? Like, there's just always a reason things happen or that it is what it is. But either way, um, I kind of think I might go too. Yeah, 333. Fuck yeah. It's a full room, but y'all way quiet and I'm tired. So I'm gonna roll. No, I'm just gonna go. Why even make you watch fucking ads? I just did. So God bless. Stay blessed. Be blessed. Bless others. Bless yourselves. Bless up. Bless it. Be. Bless things. Bless life. Bless. So yes. I love you all so very much. I will be back. Yeah, same. Thank you all for chatting with me. 33333. Thank you for chatting with me. Thank you all for being here as always. It is, and I will be back probably Thursday, per usual. And remember that I absolutely love you all so very much. And good nights and good luck. Mwah.